Hello, hello, Internet. Welcome to yet another Geek Therapeutic session. I am very excited to be hosting. Let me introduce myself. My name is Astra Ebenwing, and I am, of course, the Mistress of Madness, Mayhem, and sometimes Maternity, but not tonight, because tonight I'm playing Call of Cthulhu with a whole bunch of therapists and other professionals who are joining me here. Wonderful, wonderful to meet you all. Hello, cohort 17. I am sorry that you have to be subjected to Call of Cthulhu. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I am excited that you get to be subjected to Call of Cthulhu. Let's just go around the table and let's just do introductions briefly, and I will do an introduction at the end. First, we have playing the historian, Ren Cresswell.
Hi, I'm Nick Anderson. I work in mental health directly in providing care as well as training individuals to provide that care.
Awesome, awesome. And I should say, tell me anything that you find interesting about yourself. It doesn't have to be your job, but what's interesting?
What's interesting about me? Wow. Honestly, not too much. Between raising kids and doing the work that I do, that's pretty much where most of my focus goes. So don't have time for a whole lot else most of the time.
That's fair, but that's awesome, and good on you for doing it. Second up, playing the anchor, Junior Smith. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, my name is David Cornell. I'm pleased to be here. Gosh, I'm just very excited. I'm at loss for words. I'm excited to be here. I've never been part of Call of Cthulhu before. When playing it in D&D, there have been always mythic, really scary images, but now I think it's going to be scarier as we get towards Halloween.
Yeah. Definitely. It's going to be a little interesting tonight. Next, playing our makeup artist, the makeup, Nona, please.
Hi, Kayla Balanciefer. I'm a social worker for Child Protective Services. Interesting about me, I've pretty much turned into all things gaming lately with the pandemic. So we've got hundreds of board games going on, and I think I'm in 3 campaigns right now. So I've definitely been immersed.
Oh man. Oh wow. So which board games are you playing?
Right now we are working through Betrayal Legacy.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, would recommend. Very good.
I still need to get that, and I'm jealous. I'm just a little jealous right now. Moving along though, playing our AV tech, Evan Bortender. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Abe Klein. I'm a licensed professional counselor in the Philadelphia area. interesting things about me. I really like to cook. I specialize in one of my specialties is Japanese curry. I have actually won 2 awards from local curry cooking competitions for my curry. And I really like food. I mean, really, it's all I eat.
I'm hungry for curry now. I'm really hungry for curry. Thanks. Thanks. I had pizza this evening.
All right, Persian food.
Yeah, it's something. It's something. Finally, playing the demonologist, Theo Darkstar. Please introduce yourself.
I am Tebra Hansing, and I am the only one in this group who is not licensed to give therapy.
Yes.
I am a soon-to-be, hopefully, student of the mental arts. And let's see, I don't think I'm an interesting person, but if you join Geek Therapeutics, remember, there's a shiny badge with the 17 on it right for you. Why don't you just join us and see it?
Yeah. Yes. We should also note that Theo's our resident recruiter, by the way. And has been trying to steal everyone out of every cohort for this cohort.
Only when they're willing. Consent is important.
Consent is important. And in fact, we'll be talking a lot about, thank you for the perfect intro. We're going to be talking a lot about consent this evening because Call of Cthulhu does deal with a lot of black, dark topics. It is a horror game based in the works of H.P. Lovecraft. And H.P. Lovecraft is a problem of a human being in many ways, but he is also a wonderful writer who I have studied for very many years. I did go to college. I do have a degree, a bachelor's in psychology, but my other major was in English writing, and it was fiction. And my focuses were always in things like Gothic literature, vampirism, things. Yeah, the vampire literature was actually really interesting. The history of that. And then, of course, American literature, and H.P. Lovecraft is a classic of American literature. I got to be the Black woman one year who put the rose on his grave, which was a lot of fun. Get to do that for the birthday, sort of celebrate it. And yeah, he's a very interesting writer, but this stuff is very, very hard. And you're going to see in tonight's session, there's going to be no blood. There's going to be no gore. It's going to be very, very tepid, but the descriptions are still going to be very, very haunting. I think the best sentence I've seen describe his work is non-Euclidean geometry is scary. Because, it is the sense of losing oneself that becomes the scariest thing of the night, I would say. The sense of losing your control over reality, right? And to do that, this game system does actually force a loss of control over you through me, the GM. As you play, you will encounter more horrible situations. As I've told them all before, they have sanity scores that they're going to have to watch. If they drop too low too quickly, that can cause sanity effects to start leaking into the narration and affecting what information they get, which could cause bad decisions. And cause a more horrific situation to develop. Or it could just be the horror is actually there and they actually will have to deal with it in some way. There are monsters in this game that can attack you. And it's more than happy to throw them at you at level 1. Don't worry about that. If you see a monster, trust me, you can't handle it. This is not one of those games. This is a game where death of a character is very real, and especially as tonight's session will be within 2 hours, you might die at the end. Just make it an exciting death. We're gonna make an exciting time, yeah, or maybe you won't. Yeah. See, I like this. This is good. This is good sass. This is what I want. This is what I want. Your goal.
I lived a full life.
Already, we have broken goals in the party. Excellent, wonderful. It's working. The goal of the night, as I said last time for Maid, the game had a goal. It has a goal again tonight, kind of. It has 2. The more important goal of the evening is have fun. act. Just enjoy yourself, make silly voices, and we're going to tell a silly, scary story that's going to sound a little bit like a radio horror drama. But the other one is you're going to have to try your best to make sure that the Paradise Theater does not burn down at the end. It will burn, 100%. Trust me, I've run this mod a few times. I've watched it burn. I've made it burn. But there is a chance it doesn't have to. And I've seen some groups succeed at this. So keep your eyes out, look for clues, see if you can figure out the puzzle that's hidden within the Paradise Theater, and see if you can be one of the groups that actually makes it out alive and saves everybody while you're there. You think you can do it?
Question first, are we able to reinforce the
Yes. Would you want me to reinforce the social contract of the evening?
no, the sprinkler system? You said it's going to be on fire.
Well, don't worry, the sprinkler system does work. There's just going to be a lot of fire. It turns on. It even has it in the book. The sprinkler system does turn on. So you've already figured out one part of the mod. Congratulations. We haven't even started yet. We haven't even gotten to the theater.
It's the hat.
Yes.
Must be the hat.
So to handle tonight's stuff for Call of Cthulhu, in order to make sure that everyone has a comfortable time here on the cast, first of all, for you at home, this is a content warning episode. There will be topics that cover medical death, most assuredly within the middle of this. If that creeps you out, I would suggest you skip the middle portion when they go for an interview. You will notice that they will drive there and they will go to a hospital. It's not very hard to find. That is the section you should probably be aware of. Once they get out of the hospital, they will return to the theater. At that time, they will be out of that section. And I will let you all know that ahead of time. That is the section that contains probably some of the hardest horror of the evening. Now, moving along, if you at any time get uncomfortable with the way a scene is going or with what someone is doing in the scene, in me or any other player, you may say the following phrase, and I will bring it up on the screen so the people at home can also see it. Woo. And there it is. It basically says, single caution to the GM or other players, bring up the infamous book, The King in Yellow, and if the team should borrow it from Miskatonic University. And I'll underline this. You can make it even easier than that. You can actually just do, mention The King in Yellow. And at that point, I know, because essentially that's going to be our yellow card of the evening. That's our caution card. The other thing that is going to end the scene, that is our red card for the evening. And this is, I'm going back to my trailer. If I hear that phrase, then the scene immediately cuts to black. We will stop. We will take a 10-minute break. I will actually confer with the player who called it, and everyone else can get a nice little water break and chill. And that is going to be the way we're going to take a step back from any of those very hard scenes. I'm going back to my trailer is only to be used if you are absolutely feeling terror that you do not want to feel anymore. This is for the absolute hard stop, or a feeling that I should say, not even terror, any feeling that you're feeling that you would wish to immediately stop. If it's another player bullying you in character, for example, that happens a lot. That can be a way to use it and call it. So I hope that helps. Any questions? All right. Are you ready to journey into the Paradise Theater?
Always.
All right then.
Fucking go.
Here we go. Let's bring us towards the rest of, I'm going to need one more time, our illustrious producer, I'm going to need to flip back to the great game screen so they can actually see the cast letter that our fair crew has received. And then we'll begin my narration. Here in Boston, Massachusetts, within the year 2021, in this alternate timeline, we're going to be focusing on a cast of characters known as the Death Watch TV crew. From what I have heard from our illustrious anchor, Death Watch is a TV show dedicated to the investigation of paranormal activities. While they are there, They actually also engage in some death-defying stunts, so death-defying that they actually might enter in a brief state of comatose themselves, meditative trances or other types of induced insomnia, in order to experience sensations that are beyond this world. The show has been picking up in popularity as of late. You are gaining more viewers, and there absolutely is a chance that Death Watch can be picked up by a major network and be carried outside of the Massachusetts and New England country area. You received this letter, however, last week, and it says, to the cast and crew of Science Fiction's Death Watch, hello, my name is Robert Patterson, and I'm a huge fan of the show. In specific, I really loved that season 1 episode where the team explored that haunted Massachusetts asylum from Danvers. Too bad Simon had to leave the show after that episode. However, I wanted to write to you about a recent set of events that have been happening in my small section of Boston, Massachusetts. You may have heard that there's a local nonprofit group, Metro Arts, attempting to refurbish the old Paradise Theater in Back Bay. There's a big gala in a few weeks to celebrate the first films being shown in the theater in over 25 years. But folks on the Metro Arts volunteer squad have been telling me that they've been hearing some strange noises and seeing some strange sights in the theater when it's late at night. My bet is that the place is haunted. No one's ever explored the Paradise. There was never a need to. Not like there's been any deaths there before, and the building has a pretty good legacy from what I know. But I bet you there's something there, hiding under the surface, something the team could find, like maybe some murder or a terrible thing that happened in the building that no one knew about. And now that people are refurbishing, those memories are coming alive again. I bet your group could crack the case and find something big here. Oh, I'd love to see it on the show. Eternally yours, Robert. Now, with that invitation in tow, you find yourselves at the base of the Paradise Theater, just getting out of your van, freshly rented from the U-Haul. It is daylight, but the sun has been absent, shrouded in clouds. The Paradise stands on a dirty street. Across the road sits a car with no tires. Cryptic orange graffiti scrawled on the back window. Probably just a police marker that the car needs to be towed, but it's hard to tell. A dead dog lies in the driver's seat, erupted belly roiling with maggots. As the investigators walk up to the Paradise, the Baroque facade is darkened with grime, but the marquee is clean, and the neon is crisp and alight, letters placed to form a single message. Paradise is coming back. There's a woman on a ladder holding a piece of plastic formed into the word "the," and she places it carefully above the other words. She sees you and turns. Oh, hello there. Hi. I'm Sarah. Sorry. You caught me at a bad time. Are you Death Watch?
Oh, most assuredly.
Yeah. What? This is y'all need to get someone in to clean up this area. What the heck?
There's a dead dog. That's not sanitary.
Yeah.
Like,
Look,
have you considered a tow truck maybe?
okay, yes, we have. Look, it's Back Bay. We're adjusting to the circumstances as rapidly as possible. I have understood that a couple things happened next door last night, and yeah, we know about it already. Don't worry. It's taken care of. We are a professional group. Don't worry. We've been doing refurbishments here in the city for over 20 years. So we are absolutely aware of the dog. Thank you for reminding me.
I believe in you, most assuredly. It's just, it's a pandemic. There's a lot of germs out right now.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, why don't you all go inside and I'll be right in. Let me finish up the sign here, and then we could talk, and maybe I could learn more about what y'all want to do while you're here, and we can figure out how we can make this maybe work within our timeline. Okay.
Just an artistic suggestion. Maybe the spacing on those letters looks a little weird. Maybe just like space them out just a little bit more.
Give me a diplomacy check for that.
Not great. Diplomacy. We're using the skill modifier, right?
We are using the skill mod.
Yes, skill
Yes.
modifier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to remember the word. Yes.
9.
Word.
9. Wonderful. Just double checking here. There's my skills. All right, so 9. She definitely, you notice her bright smile begin to flicker slightly, and she goes, "Oh, quite clever. Yes. Why don't you head inside? Why don't you head inside?"
I'm waiting for somebody else to go first. I'm not touching
All
that.
right, I'll go first. This is the sooner we get in, the sooner we get out, the sooner I can get some dinner. I'm hungry.
I agree. We need to get an audio video look of what this place looks like so we can start up Death Watch. Yes.
Thank you, Junior. So I wait for Evander to go through the door first because I'm not touching that door.
Y'all, it's just a door. I go and I open the door.
You open the door and the crew walks into the foyer of the Paradise Theater. And as they walk in, the light is filtering in behind you to a very dark space, immediately more lit by the light outside than it is inside, despite every light being turned on. The foyer is grand. It is 2 floors, and you can look straight up to the fresco on the ceiling. And you also notice that there are 2 grand staircases leading to the left and the right leading into the theater, as well as the main entrance. But more importantly, each of you step through the door and the light catches your silhouettes, giving it single moments for the audience's eye to alight upon you. Why don't we go down in order from Ren and tell me what exactly your characters look like and how are they acting right now?
Honestly, I've just taken in the architecture and the historical pieces of the building and just preparing myself to provide any knowledge necessary during the course of the investigation.
What does Ren look like?
Ren, let's see here. If I can find the information here. Somehow I'm not finding it.
Oh, you have to make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is you.
Oh, okay.
There is stuff on the page, so I wasn't sure if you wanted us to make our
There's a
own.
little bit on the page, yeah. So you can play off of it if you want, but otherwise you can choose what you wish.
So Ren's a middle-aged man, balding, bearded,
All right.
approximately 5'11", so tall-ish, fairly slender.
Mhm.
Uh,
Got a bit of a southern accent though.
yeah, does have a little bit of a southern accent. He's
Well, why's he got that southern accent? Where'd that come from?
well, he's originally from Alabama and went to school up here and has actually come up here to work on writing a novel and took this as a kind of a side job to cover the bills while he's doing his writing. So
So he went over to Miskatonic and he joins Carpetbaggers.
so,
All right. So, but you see, like, even from that, so you didn't come in prepared, you know, because you missed it. But even from that, we were able to derive a lot from that character, you know, like you were able to glom on a bunch of facts, some of them from you, I would assume, you know, like, you know, off the top of your head, but you were able to walk that into a wider character, right? And that's super important to be able to do, because now you can get into that character's headspace, begin to understand why are they making those decisions, you know, like why are they on the show? Like, why did they care? Novel. That's really cool, actually. I like that tie-in a lot. Very cool. So we have our historian built out within, you know, seconds. And all it takes is just a name and a funny voice and maybe a couple thoughts on the top of the head, right? And you can get a fully fleshed out character that's going to continue to grow as we keep going through the night, right? So, Junior.
Yes. Oh gosh, did I hear you say a live audience? My goodness. Junior typically does not work in front of a live audience.
Oh,
Typically,
there's no audience here. No,
oh,
I just say
darn, and I was so much expecting it. I wanted to get out there, but that's okay. He's thinking, just because I've been in the industry before, and I kind of follow on the footsteps of having some experience behind the camera and audio visual. I'm kind of seeing where we're going to set up shop and how I'm going to look and be more presentable. This is basically how I look too, except I'm about 6 foot and 160. So it's a little underweight for my for my height. And so from an audio video perspective, wondering how I'm going to look. And as one of the de facto leaders of the group, wondering just kind of, oh my goodness, we have to solve this case too. So I have to kind of scope out the joint and look around to see what could and what could not happen.
what does Junior look like?
Junior, I have actually dressed the part of Junior right now, minus the headphones. But he's got his little pencil over here, and he's got his microphone. It's kind of his weapon, pray tell. But his other weapon is the crew itself. And if the proverbial stuff hits the fan, then he'll rally the troops, so to speak, and say, let's take care of those ghosts, or let's clean up this joint if we have to.
How does he stand?
A little, as if he takes off his glasses, he's a little gaunt in the eyelids, and he's a little hunched over as he stands, but still projecting an aura of charisma and confidence.
All right, interesting. So he's a bit of a fastidious guy. He's a bit of a studier. Interesting. All right. Nona, what is Nona doing, and what does she look like?
Nona immediately grabs her phone and is taking pictures. This would look so cute on my Instagram. She has her hair up in like 2 buns. She is a little bit above average in height. So she's 5'9". She's medium build, blonde hair, blue-eyed. She's wearing like skinny jeans with the purposeful rips in them, and has like a crop top, a white crop top, and an oversized like sweater that like goes down to past her knees, just as like a jacket.
Interesting. Nice. So, dressing for the warmth. a little bit, with the jacket on and everything. All right. Evan.
Yeah.
Evander.
Yeah.
What are you doing? How do you look?
Looking around, fairly impressed by this setup, trying to get an idea of lighting and figuring out everything of how we are going to shoot this entire show, how I'm considering if I'm going to need to do anything weird, how much lighting equipment am I going to need to bring, how many different lenses am I going to need, cameras, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. A lot. Okay. How does he look?
Very tall, very lanky, about 6'3", slim build, long, kind of wavy brown hair pulled into a ponytail, cap on, brim forward, and headphones resting around his neck.
If you could describe him in one smell, what would that smell be?
Properly applied deodorant.
Right.
And a little bit of motor oil. For good men.
Perfect. And finally, the demonologist enters through the door.
I enter begrudgingly because, I mean, I've always been kind of finicky about germs. I got sick a lot when I was a kid, and it was always like this kind of like, my mom was hyper religious, and she said that it was demons getting at me, and I was inviting them in. I was getting sick because it's my fault. And so I started getting this weird like thing about germs, and then the whole pandemic hit, and that just, I mean, I did okay before that, but this whole with masks and everything has kind of brought it up to be almost a problem, and it brings the bitch out in me. So I'm wanting to be engaged in this architecture, but I'm seeing the thick curtain of dust, and I'm thinking of all the mites and all the bugs that could be in it. And I'm thinking about that dead dog and all of the pathogens that we could have been walking through. And I'm already just a little on edge. My real name is Sarah Davis, but Sarah Davis is not a name for someone who works in demonology. So I had to make up a new name. I thought it up while I was at Miskatonic trying to study all sorts of religion, iconography, and everything. And what can you do with that bachelor's? I got nothing. So when they came to get me to do this show, it wasn't exactly a hard sell. And I try to dress the part by looking, I put a symbol of protection that I found on the internet on my forehead, and I try to look as like mysterious as possible. Which is kind of trying to overdo the fact that I am a very small, kind of chubby girl, so I end up just looking cute, and I hate being called cute. I am mysterious. I am Theo Darkstar.
All right, Theo, wonderful. Well, bad news, new rule. From this point forward, you will have 30 minutes per day. You will have 4 days to explore the Paradise Theater, for that is the amount of time Death Watch has to set up its crew and get out. Just so you know, keep an eye on the clock. It is now currently 8:32 my time, 9:32 Eastern time. That means at 10 on the dot, the day will be over and we will be moving to the next day, whether you're done or not. So be mindful of your time, and also be mindful of being able to pass control to each other. You will need to move around if you wish to. However, with that being said, I think it's time for us to actually look at the theater map, and for you to have a little bit of time to yourselves, of course. Sarah is busy for now, and it will be a little bit until she's down from the ladder. So you do have some time to look around the Paradise Theater on your own and make your own decisions. With that, let me jump over to the Paradise Theater map. Here we are. It is up. And we'll be starting in the lobby level. And I will just zoom in right here. Well, too close. Hey. It's a little bit much here. There we are. So, we are currently in the lobby. I would like everyone to roll me a spot check, please. If you don't have spot trains.
I have alertness. Does that speak to?
Nope. Alertness will be separate.
So I've got an 11 on spot.
All right.
I got a 17, which plus the 3 from my skill modifier is at 20.
Wonderful.
With the skill modifier, I've got a 22.
With the skill modifier, I have a 21.
Okay. Excellent.
And with my -1 skill modifier, I have an 18.
All right. So now that we've gotten that done, I would like everyone to make me a listen check. I'm going to do spot and listen. So this is going to be listen second. I'm interested in the numbers there. Pun counter. Pun counter. I see that.
8 total.
9.
3. Oh wait, no, sorry. Oh yeah, 3. Sorry, I mistook Abe's.
14.
Need to get my
Okay.
ears cleaned out.
An 11.
11. Okay. Interesting numbers. Let's jump back here.
Math is hard. I'm 5.
Math is hard. So you were able to look around just a little bit, and you were able to see the following. The Paradise Lobby is described as 2 stories high. It has plush red carpeting and turn-of-the-century decor. 4 circular sofas are here, being reupholstered by 2 Metro Arts volunteers, 1 male and 1 female. Grand staircases flank the walls and lead upstairs. The walls and staircase are carved with fanciful images of nymphs and satyrs. And I do welcome all of you to refer to the Paradise map at any time. Please feel free to use it in your decks. I know you all have it. And we'll be referring to it here on the screen at times as well. You are able to go anywhere in the Paradise Theater at any time. There are no like movement checks. There's no me stopping you, for example. If you want to explore an area of the Paradise outside of the basement, for example, as long as it's on this floor or the next floor, you're able to do that. Any of the special sections might require special access.
Okay, the first thing that I do is I go up to one of the upholsterers and I ask, so I've been told that there's been some hauntings. Do you have any idea where those ghosts or sightings would have happened?
Who do you approach, the man or the woman?
Which one looks more approachable?
They both look equally approachable. There's just your choice.
Then I would approach the woman.
Okay. You approach the woman, and she's a young woman with short blonde hair, neatly cropped and a little bit of pink on top. And she turns around and goes, "Oh, hey, yeah. What can I do for you?"
So, hi, I'm
Hi.
Theo from Death Watch.
Hi.
And
Wait. I watched this show. Oh, you're the nutty one.
Yes, I am. Would you like an
Holy-
autograph?
You actually wear it in real life too.
Yes, I do.
No, I don't want your autograph, but it's really nice meeting you. What can I do for you?
So, we're here to investigate some hauntings, and I'm trying to ascertain where in the theater they were happening so I can check for any markings of demons and the supernatural.
Nobody believes in that. Nobody believes in that.
That's fair. You don't have to. But do you know where the reports were from?
I don't even know what you're talking about. No.
Okay, well then thank you. You were a great help.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've had fun shooting your show.
And then I turn and I ask the man.
Sorry. You need some more help getting around here?
I'm just trying to ascertain where the hauntings would have happened. We were told Death Watch crew is here to investigate, and I'm looking for where the sightings would have happened in the facility.
What? I'm not sure what sightings you mean. Like a seeing a ghost, hearing sounds, or like what?
I don't believe that we got a whole lot of information, just that there were supernatural phenomena and that it would be of interest to our group.
The best person I think maybe you could talk to about that is look for a guy named Robert.
Okay.
Robbie knows. Robbie
Do you
always
know where
knows.
he is right now?
He's probably upstairs on the second floor somewhere.
Thank you very much. I
Yeah.
hope you have a great day.
Of course. Yeah. Take care.
And then I'm gonna head off upstairs and let someone else take over for a bit.
My,
Evander,
yeah, yeah,
what do
Junior.
you what do you think if we go around, get an audio visual layout, tap on the walls, kind of look closely at the murals and stuff like that, and see what we can figure out about the architecture and any spooky stuff, and the audiovisual clarity and how I would look, where I might be, and how this place looks like.
Sounds good. You lead the way, dude.
All right, so I guess we go tapping on the walls, looking at the, just
You want
basically what
this,
I told.
Junior? You want this filmed? You want us to get some footage of
Yeah,
this?
let's get some footage. Yes, yes,
It's a
yes.
B-roll.
Yes,
And so
ladies.
one of the other roadies comes in and gets you behind you, Evander, like almost on cue, notices you two setting up. This happens all the time. Junior gets an idea in his head and just wants to go do it. So yeah, I got it. So let's get this. All right. Yep.
Come on,
yep.
Jim Bob, let's do this.
All right. Yeah. Where are we?
No stopping him once he starts.
Where are we putting this, Evan? Where are we putting this?
Just follow me. Follow
All
me.
right. I'll roll it.
Cool. Go. Junior, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at the Paradise Theater, and we are the Death Watch crew. You might be familiar with us. Thanks for having us here. We're investigate things that go bump the night here in October, getting closer to Halloween. And here I am tapping on the wall. Isn't that scary, that sound over there? Oh gosh.
So as you're tapping, you're walking along in front of the Paradise's walls, and you're noticing you're knocking. It's really really beautiful, by the way. This section has been very well already cleaned up by Metro Arts, and it's been restored to its former 1930s glory. You're seeing wonderful gilded images of ivy and vines, as well as nymphs and dryads as well. Those are not dryads, satyrs, not dryads. Nymphs and satyrs you see wandering all around within these vines and ivy.
I wonder what kind of information we can gather about this. Evander, make a note of when we get out on our vehicle, that we have to gather information and find out about these satyrs and stuff like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we just want to introduce you to this theater. Have a good day.
All right, good. I inspect the footage to make sure everything's in order. Good.
You overhear this, Ren? You overheard all of that, Ren?
Yeah, I overheard it. So what exactly is your take going to be on this? What areas of research do you want me to focus on?
Well, gosh, these satyrs and this find out who refurbished this, and dig what it looked like before it was all cleaned up. How's that sound?
I refurbished it, the guy says.
All right. Well, just out of curiosity, is the nymph and satyr motif, is this an original part of the theater, or is this something new that was added in?
Nah, dude, that was there.
Okay, that was there. Now I'm also kind of curious too. With the refurbishment, I'm assuming some of the walls probably had to be replaced, and certain sections
yeah, dude.
reconstructed.
Yeah, that's like the whole front section. We're still working on that. Just be careful up there. I really should have told you. You're gonna see a scaffold. It's rickety. We're aware. You can climb it. We've been climbing it, but there was an accident the other day, and you just gotta be a little careful with that section. All right, like a lady fell, and it wasn't really good. So.
Oh shit.
Understood.
Yeah, she's okay. Don't worry. Like Mary's okay, but she's in the hospital right now, and hopefully we'll see her at some point. But yeah, it wasn't a good thing, especially right before the gala.
Yeah, Junior, don't go climbing on that thing. We don't need a repeat of 2 months ago.
Yeah, I'm feeling gaunt. Do we have any makeup around here? Is there anybody that can make me look better? Makeup.
No.
You see a head pop out of the coat closet area. Yeah.
Oh, the coat
Yeah.
closet. You were in the coat closet. That's interesting. The coat closet.
It was really cool lighting in there.
Oh, why don't you roll me a
Taking
spot
some
for the coat
pictures.
closet? Yeah, you should roll me a spot for the coat closet.
That's an 8.
You actually open one of the drawers as you're like looking around in there. You hit pay dirt. As you open the drawer, a whole bunch of very old, original 1930s coat check tags from the original theater. It looks like Metro Arts actually did find them from the original theater, and they're actually been somewhat, I shouldn't say refurbished, they're still pretty old, but in their paper and everything, but they're still holding together, and looks like they're setting them up for the gala that they're planning to throw.
These are so cool.
Oh yeah, we found those. They were in one of the closets.
Nice. Is that all
Yeah.
you found in here? Is there any
No.
old coats?
Oh shit, we've been finding a whole bunch of great history all throughout here. Like honestly, I'm a history major, and like this place has been great.
What's the coolest thing you found?
Like coolest thing? I don't know. Ah, geez, there's like an old record player that we found upstairs. It's really cool. Oh no,
Really? Did it
we
have
moved it. We moved it. Now we put it behind the stage. It couldn't. It was upstairs in the one of the lounging areas, but it couldn't stay back there, man.
Does it have records? Does it work?
Yeah, yeah, I think it works. I didn't try it, but I heard it works.
That's awesome.
I think Robert was playing it one day.
Did you find any old paperwork or any records or anything?
Sarah has all that. Sarah has all the paperwork for the Paradise.
I'd like to get a look at those if I could.
Yeah, you just gotta ask her, man.
What?
All right. And that was found in Coat Check, by the way, which is one of the other areas down in the bottom. There is also storage 1, storage 2. You can see the concessions. Women's and men's room are also in the front before you get to the theater proper, as well as the stairs.
I know I wanted to check out there was the 2 storage closets towards the front. I bet those have some good pay dirt. You know, no, you found something in there. Why don't we check out the other one? Anyone? One? Just me?
I'm
Oh.
upstairs.
You
What
gonna
are
go
you-
upstairs?
What are you wanting to look at?
Want to look at you found some good stuff in the storage closet. I want to check out the other one. That thing looks.
Oh, I was in coat check.
Well, where's
There
the
is another.
There's two storage closets that are, it looks like next to the
yeah,
stairs.
yeah, there's storage 1 and storage 2.
Yeah, dude, if you want to see like what's in the storage closet, like, I don't know, like, you need the key from Sarah, dude.
Let's Ren, why don't we go get Sarah? Get the paper
Yeah,
key to storage. Let's go.
yeah, I agree. Let's have a talk with her.
Okay,
So
so
while
Ren,
Junior gets his makeup on.
all right, so you two are gonna go get Sarah, Junior, Nona, and Theo. Theo, what are you gonna do?
Oh, Theo went upstairs looking for
You and
Robert.
Theo, upstairs, looking for Robert, right? Roll me a search check,
Okay, so
and then Nona and Junior, what would you like to both do?
Junior asked for me to touch up his makeup, so I'm going to do that and make sure that it looks okay in this lighting, and then I'm gonna walk him onto the stage, make sure it looks okay from that. And
Are you taking him
basically-
into the theater?
yeah, I'm just walking around checking the lighting for his
Okay.
makeup.
Okay, so you're taking him into the theater up to the stage. All right,
Mhm.
that's good to know. So let me describe the theater in proper. Once you open the doors, just make sure I have the right thing here. There it is. The large movie screen is built atop an elevated platform that was once a performance stage. It looks like prior renovations cut back on the stage considerably to make room for more seats. There is a gap, like a black gap, like, you know, you can see where the carpet slightly changes effectively, or it's shadowed, where the stage was changed. Metro, let's see, It looks like there's a retractable screen that they've actually put up for Metro Arts that has the Metro Arts logo. That's getting ready to reclaim stage space, but it also seems like they're not fully ready to deploy it. Finally, you can see in the back, there seems to be an area behind the stage as well and behind the screen. Unsure what is back there. It is quite dark. You would need a flashlight.
Great. I'm like, Junior, I'm like kind of manipulating you in the light back and forth. Like, you're gonna be really washed out. We're gonna have to do a little bit of editing on this. And like get my brushes out and start trying to fix things. I hope you haven't shot anything yet, because I don't know that the lighting was great. You might need to reshoot that.
So the lighting is somewhat on, by the way, as you're talking about this, and the large theater area seems to be in this dim lighting still a little bit rickety and threadbare. Metro still hasn't been able to reupholster the seats, it appears. They have repaired the broken ones. It's clean, but you can still see spots. You can still see some grime and some issues with the chairs at large. It seems that they're also finishing the massive job of cleaning and repainting the entire carved ceiling. There's one last patch of work on the ceiling over to the left where the scaffolding is located on the Paradise's map, which I will zoom out here and show for the audience as well. Oop. There we go. Yep. At present, you notice as you're getting everything set up, there are two people within this room. One person is actually up on the scaffolding, working on the ceiling, and another one is actually vacuuming the floor in one of the far aisles away from the right aisle where you, Junior, and Nona came through. They're over in the left aisle. It doesn't seem like they're paying any attention to you as you're getting your practice shots in.
Evander, do you remember, or Ren, do you remember somebody saying that that scaffolding was a little dangerous?
I think Evander and Ren both went outside.
Did
Their
they? Oh,
senses are present.
oh, Nona. Oh gosh, Nona. You know, if we were to just, you have a flashlight, or you have some lights around you.
I have my cell phone.
You have your cell phone? Great. You know, this is kind of boring. Light is great. Let's just take a peek behind the screen. I just want to, we wouldn't be a Death Watch crew if we did everything that's front. So let's just look in back of the screen. Just take a real peek, you know?
Yeah. All right, let's pause there right before you go take that peek. Theo, you go upstairs in search of Robert. In that search check, what was it?
I got 19.
19 to find Robert. Okay, so you go upstairs and here's what you're able to see from the upper level. Where is it? I had to find it in the book. By the way, everyone, we are doing this straight out of a book. This is the original Call of Cthulhu D20 book. I wanted to mention that before. It actually is the introductory mod in the book. You can go buy it afterwards to see the mod if you want to run it yourself. You know, just product placement for a book that isn't printed anymore. No problem. So you've gone up to the upper level and you've reached the landing, and this is where you heard before that there was like a bit of a lounge area, and you can see that like the landing is wide enough for people to sort of sit and gaze down into the main lobby area and look at the carpeting, or the people like scurrying down below. You also see that it is connected very importantly to the projection booth, as well as there are a few seats, it appears, hanging off with the projection booth, but not very many. Mostly just doors to other sections and overviews of the right and left aisle. For the projection booth itself, that looks like the description for the projection booth. That is everything I need to say for you. There are two additional storage areas, storage 3 and storage 4. However, doesn't seem like Robert's here.
Is there anybody up there?
Maybe he went back downstairs, but no one's up there. Maybe it's very possible that you went up one side and then he went down the other.
It's possible, but while I'm up here, I don't want to waste any time. I know that Junior's probably already jumping into things, and I want to try to get as much of a jump as possible. Is there any way that I can use knowledge occult to just try to see if there's anything that stands out to me as being occulty?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Please.
So I got a 16 plus a 6, which is math 32.
Immediately, you start noticing the patterns in the floor stand out to you, the carpeting. Did you want to take a closer look on it?
Yes, please.
Okay. Give me a spot check, please.
So, let's see. 15.
So your eyes gaze into the carpet below the paradise and look down just as, everyone sort of skitters out, and you see Ren and Evan run out to go find Sarah. You see Junior and Nona go off, and then you are only by yourself looking down over the railing into the carpeting. What catches your eye is that every one of the patterns is deeply intertwined and very ornate, like it's snaking in and out around itself, almost building this beautiful web of vines and braids. And the longer you look at it, the more you see that this pattern never seems to end. It spirals continuously throughout the entire carpet. You can't trace the start, and you're trying to find the end, and yet it crosses over itself, and yet it never seems to find its way back around. And the longer you look, suddenly the lights seem to flicker and everything seems to go like a film projector, rapidly flickering before your eyes. And as that happens, almost like a flip book, the entire floor begins to just move and shift and writhe. And then in a second, it stops and the shifting and writhing is gone. And then you hear in the back, someone get Robert to check the electric again. God, I hate that. Roll me a sanity check.
Ah, that's a D100, right?
Yeah.
Forgot the D. I got a 4.
And what is your current sanity?
45.
Wow, you rolled below your sanity, which means you have successfully saved against that. The visage of the moving tendrils, honestly, you only saw it for a brief moment, and you couldn't be quite sure if it actually happened or not. Honestly, from experience and seeing electrical issues like that before at raves, plenty of raves, that, it's very easy to get optical illusions.
And my eyes are clearly very tired.
Yeah, and with the electric just glitching out like that, it's very easy for that to happen. So not much paranormal. And the fact that you look closer, nah, there totally is an end to this pattern. It's like right over there.
It's right there.
Yeah. Not interesting at all.
Nope, not at all.
Nope. Nona and Junior, please.
So Nona, you armed with your cell phone, me armed with my mic. I'm going to use my listen ability to hear spooky stuff and weird stuff in back of the screen.
Junior, your cell phone I'm sure it has a flashlight too. Do you want one? Like, do you need me to show you how to use it?
Well, yeah, I can hold my mic and my cell phone. Yeah, I'll do that. Mic in one hand and cell phone in the other. I need a high quality
cell phone and I turn your light on for you and I hand it back to you.
Thanks, Mona. You're gonna go far in this business, kid. Thanks. Okay, so yeah. Mic in one hand, professional mic, and cell phone in the other. I look in the back of the screen. What do I see?
No, you're coming with him.
Yeah, but I'm only moderately paying attention because I am definitely more focused on taking pictures.
No, absolutely. It's important to take photos of evidence. So you guys look behind the screen. And as you do, I need you all to make a, let me double check what they wanted to use for this. There it is. Okay, so you walk back there, and the only thing that actually illuminates the space is the flashlights. In fact, for all the light that's actually outside in the theater, very little of it seems to be leaking back into behind the area behind the screen. But what you do see is very much in the far back corner. And I want to point it out on the map. You see this. There's a loading dock, and you came in this side on the right, and you came up the stage, and you're looking in the back, and through this entire area of darkness behind the screen, where you can barely see the light coming in behind the curtains, you can see that there's a door here going into another room, it appears. And there doesn't seem to be much light, but there is light coming from the doorway, like underneath the door, and it's flickering every so slightly. You can see that from where you're at all the way on the other side. And that's let's see how far across that is. That's like, I'd say at least 50 feet. It's a big theater, like 50, 60 feet down that corridor.
Do I hear anything with my listenability and my mic kind of amplifying it?
What did you roll?
I didn't roll that yet. I was wondering if I could.
Yeah, let's, yeah, roll it.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of my better stats. Gosh, total of 24.
24, all right.
Yeah.
As you're sitting there with your microphone recording, you begin to hear on your headset,
I write this down.
Junior, what are you doing?
Here, listen to this, and I give it to Mona.
You hear the same thing. You hear a very soft, it's distant, but you can hear it playing.
I don't know what kind of music you're listening to, but this is not my jam.
Let's get closer. What are you feeling brave today?
While you're sitting there listening to it, roll me a sanity check.
It's one of my better stats. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. 20 odd.
Okay, 20. And your current sanity is pretty high, right?
Yeah, 85.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And Nona?
Oh, I rolled a 41, which is super because mine is 40.
Wonderful. You will take 1 point of sanity damage. You're at 39 now.
Great.
You're welcome.
In addition, you take 1 point of Cthulhu Mythos. Your maximum is
music
now
is
39.
really upsetting to me.
As you're listening to it, however, you notice that it's not coming from the headset. It's coming from all around you. It's in the theater.
I hope this wasn't the records that they were talking about. This is really bad.
You so much.
Do you want to go closer, Junior?
She's the one with the psychedelic vibes, not me.
No, yeah. Okay, you're going for it. So you walk down through the darkness, and as you take it step by step, it seems as though this hallway almost never ends. You almost never seem to get closer to the door. But then finally, the door seems to slip towards you in a sudden motion. You're there. You don't know It seems like you've walked forever, and then all of a sudden you are. You simply found your way here. At this point, as you look at the door, you can very clearly see the flickering of film or a low light happening on the other side of this door that seems to be blocking it. But what seems to be even odder as you look closer is there is no door. There is simply another area to a larger room, and there is light spilling over the threshold in one direction. There are also curtains inside of this room, inside the door frame. But the rest of the space is black. It seems something's blocking your vision.
So what do you think, Nona?
This is ridiculous. Just open the door.
There is no door.
Oh, thought there was a door.
There's no door. There only seems to be another larger space. It seems to be dark. However, on the threshold, there seems to be a line of light coming into this side as if there was a door.
Oh.
I screamed to the crew, "Hey guys, I found something."
The others are outside. Do I want to see if I hear it?
Roll listen. Yeah.
Oh, the rest of us?
Everyone else, yeah.
Okie doke.
I'm gonna make this easier. As Junior is yelling,
21.
I'm going to wander off to go find someone.
Okay. So you're
I
gonna
got a
wander off and leave
21.
Junior alone. 21. You do hear Junior yell, "I found something!" Just like that.
Even though I don't really understand why, because it completely made sense why things were weird, I'm pretty eager to leave the top floor. So I head down to where I saw Junior.
What about you, Ev? What did you roll?
I rolled a 17 and then I add on 3, so an unnatural.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you totally heard as well.
Ah, shit. Yo, Ren, the Junior found something. Let's go.
All right. So you guys run in, and somehow you heard Junior's voice even over the vacuum cleaner as you run past through the theater. But yeah, you see Nona up on the stage, and she's standing up there, just about to come down and grab you, both of you, actually.
So Junior thinks he found something again. There's some really awful music playing back there, and there's a light. It looks like there should be a door. I don't know. There's not a door. It's weird.
All right, looks like it's time to get some footage. Let's go.
Oh, but only shoot him from this side because they kind of messed up the other side. So just only this side. Get this side.
All right, whatever. Let's whatever. It's over with.
I catch up and I follow as well.
Okay. So you guys catch up, run down the dark hallway, and it seems like the same thing happens. You keep walking, and it seems like you're never getting to Junior, and all of a sudden you're there behind Junior. And as you're standing there, you see the same sight that Junior does, this wide area that should be a loading dock door that seems to lead to another space behind it.
Can I do a knowledge occult on what I'm looking at?
You can, yeah.
So that's a 17 plus 6. That's harder for me.
23.
23.
Your expert occult powers tell you that's a room with nothing in it.
Guys, this is a room with nothing in it. Why are we wasting our time?
Listen to this. And I play back the recording.
Do I do a listen or a sanity check?
You play back the recording and there's nothing there.
Okay, cool. Junior.
All is this?
Am I listening for some
Does anyone
sort
want
of
to
EVP?
go in this space?
Sure, I'll just walk in.
Back there.
I'm gonna go walk in to prove that there's nothing there.
Okay, so you go walk forward and attempt to walk into the space, and you immediately face plant into a mirror.
No.
Theo, you gotta watch where you're walking. You don't have a medical staff anymore.
It
As you
the
look
lights
forward,
on.
you can finally see your own reflections. All of your reflections are being cast in the mirror. However, a minute ago they weren't. No, they were. They totally were. You just forgot about it. Sorry, I just forgot to mention it.
Oh,
Mm.
Yeah. Nice job, Junior.
I know. Please don't fire me.
I told you there was nothing occult about this. Ah, my head.
Oh, do you want me to touch up that thing that you always put on your face?
It's
I
important.
I could probably add something like really, you know what? I have the perfect color for
Hey,
you.
Death Watch!
You do not touch it.
Death Watch! At this point,
Yeah?
you see a very familiar female head poke around with Bren in tow, and it's Sarah. Darlings, let's get you in, shall we? Let's finally sit down and talk about this place. How about that?
Sarah, I was
I come to her
skeptical
holding
about
the
the
cat a little bit
outside.
because I hurt.
Are you okay?
I ran into a mirror and the lights keep flickering, gave me a headache.
Ah, shit! I should have given you the release form. Can you sign our release form?
I mean, it's not going
Why?
to retroactively take care of the stuff that already happened, is that?
Not at all. No.
Why do we need to sign a release form?
Because you're in an active construction zone.
Yeah. And Junior might climb the scaffolding.
All right, can we just Junior to
That's a valid
sign the
point.
release?
Yes. Let's go to my office. Let's go to my office.
Sarah, I was a bit skeptical with the outside of this place, but I am loving what you've done with the inside. It's amazing in here.
Thank you. Thank you. We've been putting very hard work into this place. And she leads you all down as you all are looking around. And she leads you into like the back of the theater. So you're able to see the front and actually look through the doors and see the back of the house too, where you walked in. And it's a bit of an open, area as well. And enough area to have a nice conversation and have it be quiet. She waves over to one of the volunteers. He stops vacuuming finally, and he takes a 5. And she looks at everyone and says, "Okay, wonderful to meet you all. I'm Sarah Landry. Sorry I didn't introduce myself. Who should
Pleased
I?"
to meet you. And I put my hand out there. Sorry again
Hi,
for our
yes,
early first introduction.
yes.
Normally, we all are much more personable. I think we just weren't expecting a dead dog. That's not on you.
No, it's not. Absolutely, but we wish to give you all a very warm welcome, each of you from the cast. We're just thrilled to have you at a very critical time. We do have a gala in a couple days. Now I need to underline that. I think your producers told you that the gala is in 4 days. You're welcome to shoot it if you want, but it's up to you. The only thing I'm requesting here is that you just stay out of our way. Let us call the shots, because of safety around here. And, just follow the instructions and it should be fine.
I personally was curious about something, milady. There's this weird noise I heard. Maybe it was in my head, like oh, yeah. I'm trying to hum it out.
Sing it again. It
How
was
did
Oh,
it
that-
bad
go?
enough the first time.
Is that your audio visual? Because your audio is weird in here.
No. A bunch of our volunteers bring their own music sometimes. And I know that Robert loves experimental music. It could be his, it could have been Jeff's. I don't know.
I'm
It happens
looking
a
for
lot.
Robert. Is there any chance you could help introduce me?
I don't know if he's in today.
Someone said he was upstairs earlier.
I haven't seen him.
Well, then maybe you can help me. So we got the tip that there's been some like paranormal activity.
Mhm.
And as the resident occultist, I'm trying to see exactly where those happened in the facility just so that I can investigate and see if I can prove or disprove whether there's a supernatural entity here.
That's going to be an interesting one because it really hasn't. I mean, I could tell you the facts of the place. I can tell you all about the history, but
Oh, please do.
tragedy or things
Absolutely.
like that you normally comes with the place. It's not really a place like that. So I mean, you want me to start from the beginning? Want me to give you a spiel that I give all the tourists? Like what would you like here? Are you going to film it or?
Oh, yeah, just a second.
Well,
Evan, let's
no,
set
we'll
up the
just get an
shot.
audio. Just get an audio for now. We don't want to scare the young lady along. Go ahead, please.
Where's our guy? Yo, hey Jimbo, come on, audio, please get it over here.
Oh, yeah, boss. Yeah, got it.
Thanks,
Got it.
buddy.
Yeah, gotcha, Bo.
So why don't you tell us everything, especially that like pertains to any potential hauntings?
All right. Well, fine. Hauntings, we'll see. Let me just from the background on top of my head, let me get the spiel right for the news stations. That's what I want to perfect. Just give me a moment. Give me a moment. Okay.
Don't even worry about it. You can take we can edit things to make it sound good too.
Okay, good, wonderful. Okay, so, well, I guess I could start at built in 1892. This was built by the wealthy Allen family, and they named it the Paradise Theater. It was originally a showplace for stage acts, and it was intended to be built in New York City. However, it just didn't fit, and the Allen family made the decision to move it up here to Boston into the Back Bay area as everything was growing and expanding, and it became sort of like a hub of the neighborhood with all of the other playhouses in the area. However, when the plays began to lose some of their popularity here, unlike they, kept their popularity in New York, I'm not bitter about that, but yeah, can you edit that out?
Well, we'll definitely take that part out. Don't worry.
Okay, good, thank you. Unfortunately, once everything faded, the Allens decided to convert the Paradise into a movie theater from a playhouse. From 1928 on, it actually did show films, and the Paradise showed film after film for generations, as we say, for entertainment-hungry young citizens. However, the Paradise did close in 1974, and that is the damage you're seeing here, like the seating and then the walls. All of this was actually recent damage over the intervening years because there was no real owner. It did go to a demolition state almost, and Metro Arts did buy it thanks to our fine backers who help support the arts here within Boston. I should say that, this was very considerable disrepair when we came in, but the theater, I would say has another anniversary coming up. We missed the first 100-year anniversary, and maybe this time we're going to be able to hit a better note. I think it's not the 100 years, but it is certainly a reopening.
So it sounds like there's a lovely history to this place, but has there been anything that you would say, like disturbances, deaths, anything of a darker note? And I promise this, we will not make the place seem bad at all. If anything, the true crime vibe, everything, that'll make people want to flock over more.
I mean, I can't really tell you very much. It doesn't really have much of a bad history to it. The Allen family, I'm not sure if you know them, but really good people. There's the Allen Foundation. It's still around today. They are, very wealthy. They got a lot of money back, when the family first built the Paradise, obviously. He developed much of the area around Back Bay and Brighton and some other neighborhoods. And, in 1953, that's when they founded the Allen Foundation. And all of their charity offerings have been childcare related. No history of tragic deaths, no real history of accidents. This is just a movie theater that was a playhouse at one point, a very nice one and a very historic one.
Well, it's strange that we're brought in then if there's not anything in the history to denote a necessity for a supernatural crack team like us.
The best thing we have that's close to a disaster is Mary falling from the scaffolding the other day. Unfortunately, that was just bad luck. Well, we did blame that on the stage, actors have their superstitions, but unfortunately she is recovering.
I actually have a couple quick questions for you, if you don't mind, my dear. So I do understand that the theater originally moved from New York, as you mentioned. What I couldn't find was a specific reason why the Allen family decided to move it. Do you happen to have any information on that?
Not that they just moved it. That's it.
The other question I had, were any of the original materials from the build site in New York actually transported up here, or was this just a brand new build when they came up?
They brought the foundation.
Oh, they brought the foundation. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just some curiosities I had there. Thank you.
Of course. Any other questions? Or actually, we're about to close up for the day.
Very
Oh,
good. Very
yeah.
good.
Quick
Go ahead.
question.
Go ahead.
Can we get the keys to the storage rooms? I want to see if there's anything interesting in there.
We can get them to you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I think this is a good part for us to wrap up, come back, and I want to assure you, ma'am, that we're going to present this in the best image we can to all the kind benefactors and everything that have contributed toward this, and
Wonderful.
just make it the Paradise Theater look great.
Oh, wonderful.
Also, Ren, didn't you want to get some papers or something?
Yeah, I heard there were some original documents that that had been located as part of the renovation. I just wanted to maybe have a look at those if I could.
Of course, yes, they are available. I can get them to you as let me just go upstairs and then I'll grab them for you and I'll give them to you on the way out. How about that?
Perfect.
I'll look
Thank
up
you.
for them tonight. Yeah. Then she pretty much does that and gives you all a nod and lets you all put your equipment down for the evening and lets some of the other Metro Arts volunteers there instruct some of the crew on where to leave your stuff in the theater so that you're keeping out of their way. And at this point, it seems that Metro Arts is wrapping up and it seems like your crew is getting in position just to get some camera angles and some other shots ready for tomorrow. So your time for the day is really much done at this point. You're welcome to do research for the evening. You're welcome to also visit other areas within town. Once you leave the Paradise Theater, you can always go back to your homes. You do live in the area. You can go to the Miskatonic Library or Miskatonic University, which is a very famous H.P. Lovecraft university within the Boston and Providence area. And then you can also spend your time doing your own research in other areas if you can come up with other ideas. I'm completely open to anyone's crazy ideas. I'm very good at those.
So as Theo, I would like to go to the Miskatonic University and their amazing occult section. I'm going to just take a deep dive and I'm going to cross-reference that with the history of like the locations of both sections and just see if I can find anything that she might have not been like immediately giving, trying to remember the pattern of the carpet I saw and the various things I saw.
Okay. What would you like to use for that? Would you like to search on the computer? Would you like to search the books? Would you like to search, how are you researching in Miskatonic Library? That doesn't matter in
frame
this.
I'm working with. Is it the rest of the night?
There's the rest of the night.
Okay, then I'm doing both. I'm using the internet, but I'm also at the university specifically to be able to find the paper-only books that they have available.
Okay, so that's going to be two things then. It's going to be research and it's going to be computer use. And those are two separate roles that will give two separate results.
Okay.
No.
I'm going to go home and get on my laptop and start photo editing all of the photos that I've taken of all of the different art shots that I took while we were there.
Excellent. While you're doing that, can you make me a spot check, please? Thank you. Evander.
I'm gonna with my associate Jimbo.
I kept saying Evander. Why is wrong with me tonight?
The tomato, potato. Yeah, I confer with Jim to make sure everything's in order, and then he and I go off and get something to eat because we were both very
hungry. Yo, I got you, fam.
We good? We good? Everything good? Everything good?
Oh, we're good. We got burgers tonight.
Yes, burgers.
Mm-hmm. Junior.
Right. I'm going to leave some notes with Nona before she skedaddles to get some custom makeup for the rest of the staff so they can be more presentable during our next shoot. And I'm just going to go in my hotel and chill for a while and just relax.
Make me a songcraft check while you relax. Ren.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna start by going through the paperwork and just kind of seeing what's there. But I also want to do some research on the original build site in New York. Any history of occurrences or pieces that might be associated with that. I want to get to the bottom of why this move occurred in the first place.
Okay. Why don't you do a research check? Are you going to be using the library as an assistant? Or are you doing it on your own?
I'll probably pour through some of my own books at home and also utilize the internet as well.
Okay, so it's going to be research and computer use. Theo,
Research on the list.
what was that?
I don't find research on the skill list. What else should we be using?
Should be research. If
There's
you don't,
search and then there's gather information.
should be on there. Let me pull up your sheets quick here.
For me, would it be under knowledge?
Oh wow, it actually isn't on there. That's bad because research actually is a skill in this game. I'm looking at it right now. And your research, some people actually had research trained as well. Research is actually based on intelligence. And if it's in your wheelhouse, in which case the demonologist it was, and
Yes.
Ren it was, you're going to get your intelligence modifier +4. And then Theo, because you're at Miskatonic, you're going to get another +5 on top of that because Miskatonic has very good resources.
Okay, so I did 2 rolls. The top one for the research, I got a 7 plus 6 plus 5 is 18. And my computer use is just absolutely abysmal. That's 2 plus 3. And I don't know if I'm getting a bonus for the computer use.
So well, I guess say you spend a lot of time on the computer and unfortunately it doesn't return anything of use.
Yeah.
But as you spend time in the Stacks and Miskatonic library, you're sitting there reading through the book, and as you look at one page, you look back at your notes, take some notes, but when you look back, all of the words are different. Make a sanity check.
14.
It seems just that the wind flipped the page while you weren't looking. One of the windows is open in Miskatonic. Ren, you're also researching as well, but not at Miskatonic.
Yeah, the research check came up 25 total.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to keep that in mind. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a 10-minute break and we're going to come back to the research phase, finish that up, and then we're going to go into day 2. So we don't have too much time remaining. So it might be a little bit shorter than 4 days. It might be 3 before the gala. But I think we are still going to be able to get all of the high notes in here. You actually did complete day 1 pretty quickly. And you actually did get through most of the things within day 1. You actually found most of the tricks and traps. So pretty good. That means there's less that I can throw at you later on later days because the theater isn't changing, by the way. Theater stays static.
Quick question.
Yeah.
What was that check you asked me to make as I was relaxing?
It was a song. It was the songcraft under craft.
It's not a skill, is it? Because I'm looking for it. I don't see
It is a
I don't think
skill.
it's in there either.
It should be. I should have added it to your sheet.
Oh,
Specifically only for you. Oh no, photography. I gave you photography instead of songcraft. That's right.
oh,
I took it off.
photography. Oh,
Yeah, photography would actually count for this too. Give me that check instead.
I see perform, but I don't see photography.
Craft photography 5.
Craft photography. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. That's the weird one in photography because it's under craft, it's under C. They fixed that in later editions. They make them more standardized rather than just, why don't you make up a craft? That's what this is. It's craft. Make up the craft.
Right. And I've got a 13 on that. Very good. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, so
Oh
wonderful.
no.
So 13 on that, pretty high on these. So
Yeah.
you're going out and getting burgers and you're going and looking through your photos. Wonderful. We'll get to all of those results after a break. Can we take a break here, wonderful
Yeah.
producer? Yes, Ren, before we take break.
I just wanted to say, because you also asked me for a computer use, I got a total 7 on that portion.
Oh,
So-
good. So you're going to get computer use too. Wonderful. Extra information. I can't wait to give it to you. Yeah.
Can't wait to see what that's going to do to me.
Awesome. Yeah, Dr. Bean, can we take a 10? Are you there, Star? Maybe.
Maybe lost him.
We're about to lose him.
Yes, Dr. Bean, you're on mute.
He's talking to someone else. Well, one of these days we'll be free to actually leave. You know, you can all leave and I'll actually entertain the cast if you all want to take a brief break and get some water and drinks. And I'll talk a little bit about the theater if no one wants to get a drink. So
I'll be right back. Pardon.
all right. So fun little behind the scenes here before our wonderful producer might be able to see that we would like to take a break. So the Paradise Theater is actually a very interesting place. As you may have already noticed, it's quite open and it allows the players to go wherever they want. And that's because it's written into blocks within all of this book, and you can just trigger the blocks one by one. So certain blocks, once they fire, won't fire again for the rest of the mod. So they already did get some of those out, which is quite good for them. But there are others that will be added throughout the course of gameplay. And there will be other paths that they will open in the theater as they learn more information, which is actually a lot of fun because it's very player guided tonight, if you haven't noticed. They have to find the information and they have to lead me to tell them it. And that's what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to get this information out of me so they can put the storyline together and get that extra information they need to save the paradise. Now, what they don't know is that sometimes information is dangerous, especially within Call of Cthulhu. Information always comes at a cost, the cost of power. And power in Call of Cthulhu is a penalty. Unlike most role-playing games, which are formulated around a hero's journey type of storyline with a traditional narrative arc that goes up, hits the climax, and comes back down. Call of Cthulhu is going to be very rocky up and down. It's going to be very hard to see where exactly some of the high and low points are, especially as one of these middle scenes is very powerful. Can we take a break? Hi. Okay, can we take a break? I'd like a 10-minute break, so I'll just wrap this up. So yes, so we're going to be able to see once after they come back from their 10 minutes, we'll be able to see if they can actually put more information together, where it's going to take them, which of these extra scenes they're going to find, which of these scenes they're going to miss entirely because they can. But don't go anywhere. It's going to keep going after this.
Hi, my name's John Wick, and I am the author and designer of games such as Legend of the Five Rings, Seventh Sea, Orc World, Houses of the Blooded, and other role-playing games that are not D&D, mainly because I feel that D&D does the job it does, and other games have other spaces that they can explore and tell different kinds of stories. 7C, for example, is a game about what does it mean to be a hero and swashbuckling adventure and sorcery and things like that. But more than that, it's a game about difficult choices. I think role-playing games offer a really great opportunity to present difficult choices to players that challenge what they think their character is and also challenge things that they bring to the character. Role-playing games give you the opportunity to not just watch a hero on a screen or read about a hero in a book, but to actually not just walk in the hero's footsteps, but to make the hero's footsteps. That's why I think role-playing games are a unique literary medium. You aren't watching someone else have an adventure, you are having the adventure. And yes, that's in the guise of a character, but my goal as a GM is to make you not have the reaction, my character is in trouble, or my character is in love, or my character has to make a hard decision. But I want you to think, I am in love, I am in trouble, or I have to make a hard decision. And I don't think any other literary medium does that other than role-playing games. The author Umberto Eco, who wrote Foucault's Pendulum and Name of the Rose, he once said that the ultimate murder mystery would be where the reader finds out that they did it. And I don't think any other medium does that except role-playing games. So one of the reasons I'm really excited about this project is because I think that role-playing games offer players a safe space to make dangerous and difficult decisions. Because there's a level of distance between you and the character, you can explore things that, like in the same way that science fiction does. Science fiction can address things like racism and classism and difficult subjects like that because it happens in this other place far, far away. It's one of the reasons that Star Trek is so powerful. And role-playing games give players that same safe space of, well, this is somewhere else and this is happening to other people. And role-playing games give you the opportunity to explore those kinds of things. They don't have to be, hey, let's go and murder people who don't look like us so we can go through their pockets for spare change. You can discuss things like honor and duty and other heroic virtues the virtues that we apply to heroes, and really ask difficult questions like, are those really virtues? What does courage mean? What does loyalty mean? What does love mean? All of these different things can be explored in a role-playing game because it's in a safe space where there's distance between you and what's going on in the story, but not a lot of distance.
I'm Jess Hartley, and for the last 15 years or so, I've been a professional novelist, role-playing game writer, editor, and game developer. Most of my published work has been for White Wolf and the World of Darkness, but I've also had the pleasure of working on a variety of games, including Supernatural, the licensed product by Margaret Weis Productions, and the Paranet Papers, which is one of the supplements for the Dresden Files by Evil Hat Productions. I am an avid LARPer and really love games of all sorts. I'm going to be guest GMing a session for Changing the Lost, which is part of the New World of Darkness. I had the pleasure of being one of the core writers on that game, and also being a writer on most of the supplements for it. It's one of my favorite role-playing games, and I'm really excited to be bringing it to those who haven't had a chance to experience it yet, and a couple of the fans who already know about it. So I'm so excited to be a part of this project, having an opportunity to take something that has been a professional and recreational interest of mine for decades and have an opportunity to help people bring it into a therapeutic environment is just so exciting. And I'm really looking forward to meeting all of you and being a part of this project.
Hey y'all, I am Eloy Lasanta. I am the owner of Third Eye Games, and I am also the co-owner of New Agenda Publishing. With both of those companies, I've gone on to create a number of different titles. I have also created a lot of different systems. Just to run through a list of my own games, there's Apocalypse Prevention Inc., Ninja Crusade, Part-Time Gods, Amp Year 1, Sins of the Father, as well as a number of games made for my family-style RPG system called the PIP system, like Mermaid Adventures, Infestation, an RPG of bugs and heroes, and the upcoming Kid's Guide to Monster Hunting. I've actually worked with a lot of different companies, from Onyx Path to Margaret Weis. I've worked on the World of Darkness, I've worked on the Firefly RPG, I've worked on a game called Kid World, which was really fun. So I have been designing and writing for many, many years now, over a decade, but I've been playing for over 30. And ever since I was a kid, there's just always been an intrinsic value to role-playing in my life, and I've always been able to not only learn life lessons, but learn how to engage. It definitely breaks you out of your shell, and hopefully that's something that I will be able to assist when it comes to teaching you how to GM a game, and all the various skills that come with RPGs. I just love the idea of growing up as a kid role-playing, eventually making that my job, making it my career, and now I get to help you change people's lives with the skills that I've accumulated over the last 30 years or so. So sit back, relax, hopefully I'll be GMing a game for you. I'm Aloy Santa, and I'll see you later.
Paradise burns down, then yeah, I'll kill him.
I meant since he's leaving and his character's not going to be used, can we just, kill him?
Well, you can use the character and have the historian do things while Ren's not around.
Right, but Nona could make his corpse look good when he dies.
There you
Can we
go.
have his character sheet?
There you go. Oh, yeah, I'll give you the
Cool.
character sheet.
I am
No.
not a mortician.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
sorry guys, but the job calls. So
Of course, no. So Ren will have to be going in 30 minutes. We'll be transferring control of the historian over to someone else within 30, but we got 30 more minutes with you at least. I will absolutely take advantage of that. We are coming back and we are finding out the results of some research. So you started to look into a few things. Specifically, you were looking into the demonology side of this, and you were at the Miskatonic University. What you're able to find with your role is as follows. Guess what? Police blotters from back in the 1930s actually have some more information about what that place was doing. It wasn't just a theater. It seems that there was a speakeasy in the basement. So something's definitely going on here. As you're looking through those documents more, you see it was raided multiple times. And it was also known to be the headquarters of a specific type of club called the Sound and Light Club. The Sound and Light Club operated obviously out of the theater during the Prohibition era and was serving booze to the variety of people within the neighborhood. Specifically, you find an entry in a case file from 1936 where police raided the club on the suspicion of kidnapping. A man named Arnold Langtree, the guest of a club member, told the police he met a woman at the club and they hit it off. After a few drinks, she began telling him that the club had private parties sometimes and invited him to accompany her to one. Then two doormen escorted her into another room behind the bar. When Langtree questioned them a few minutes later, they denied ever seeing the woman, whose name he did not know. The police raid found nothing, and apparently the club was back in business a few weeks later.
Behind the bar, down in the basement.
Yes, and yep, and then finally, you were over 15 on your research roll, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You were able to also find that a month after this incident, Arnold Langtree was found dead, the victim of a hit and run.
Remind me if I remember what that name is. Because we've been throwing a
Arnold-
lot of information at me.
Yes, I have. It's Arnold Langtree is the name. Arnold Langtree. He basically said a woman invited him to private parties, that there was some room in the club.
Oh, so a month later
in the
he was
basement.
found dead.
And then a month later he was found dead. Yep.
Okay. But not at the place.
Not at the place, no.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Ren, you find this out before you run out. So further information, you also trip across the Sound and Light Club, as a matter of fact. It did exist before and after the Prohibition, you found out. Its duration is much longer than the Prohibition, but it gained its notoriety during the Prohibition. The reason is you were able, with your expertise, to dive further into the archives. You did find the police reports that Theoman had learned, but you did also find that the Sound and Light Club just began as a social club for the Freemasons in the early 1900s. It did evolve beyond its Masonic roots into a private club for businessmen and politicians. In the 1940s, the Sound and Light Club sponsored an annual carnival to raise money for children's charities. The group actually did shut down in 1953. Its popularity among the city's moneyed classes usurped by the Rotary Club and the steady loss of members due to old age. During its lifetime, the group was based in a variety of locations all throughout downtown. However, you were able to determine very quickly that every address that they had was within 6 blocks of the Paradise Theater. Not to mention, a 1985 newspaper article mentions the history of charitable groups in the city and actually does mention the Sound and Light Club as very adorable, short-lived carnival fundraisers of the 1940s. And specifically, there was a quote in the article saying, "Those were the best of the days, those were also the worst of the days, but the true days are only to come." And that's from Frank Long, member of the Sound and Light Club.
Okay. Does my research indicate that any members of the Sound and Light Club are still living, or?
Just one, it appears, Frank Long.
Okay. Okay. I'll probably try to figure out where Frank Long lives.
Yep. There are a few other people quoted in the article, but with your computer use, you aren't able to determine if any of them are still living or not. Just Frank definitely pops up.
Okay.
And you get an address as well.
Okay, what's the address?
You copy it down.
Okay. Okay.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 Smith Street.
Yeah. Okay. So that is what you were able to determine on the history of the Paradise Theater.
Okay.
Day 2. You come in. It seems it's a less sunny out today, a bit more.
Do I find out
rockier.
anything while I'm getting burgers?
You get great burgers and have a wonderful night's rest.
And you forgot about Songcraft Guy
Yeah.
and the video, the picture stuff. with
Oh, the pictures. Sorry. Yes, you're right. Oh, goodness. I did have to go through the pictures as well. So no, thanks for the hand. Sorry. As you're going through the pictures, you're opening them up one by one on the computer, again and again and again. And as you get to the last one that you're about to touch up, that seems to be good. It's of the stage itself. And it was when Junior was walking forward, and you actually got him walking up towards the stage with like the microphone out and like looking around. Like it was a really good shot. You could see at the very corner, there's something blurry. It's almost like someone was standing on the stage and you caught him in the photo. Like it could be a ghost blob.
Okay.
What do you want to do about it?
I'm going to try to manipulate the image with using like adjusting the lighting and adjusting the color exposure and everything just within Photoshop to see if I can like clarify what it is and zoom in on it. And exactly.
Remember your part of a ghost show.
Do you mean enhance?
Yes.
Are you going to enhance
Yes.
the image? Good. It enhances. Computer use. Because, you know, images automatically enhance when you make them bigger in Photoshop and you don't lose pixel quality at all.
Nope.
It's so true.
It automatically re-renders it. Every cop procedural told me that.
Yep.
My computer use is a 9.
9. A whole 9.
A whole 9. My
You
spot
have
check was much better.
successfully made the blob blobbier. It now has my smiley face. Great. Thanks for ruining another scare. Continue on.
We're gonna survive out of sheer dumb luck.
Sheer dumb luck. That's where we're at right now. Sheer dumb luck.
And you had Junior do songcraft.
Yes, I did. I did photography, actually. Junior, roll me your photography. Or
Yeah,
tell me your photographer.
Got a 14 on the total roll.
14. Yeah. So as you were thinking about some of the photography that was taken earlier, you did actually remember something. And it actually is quite useful. It sits on your mind. You never took photos of the ceiling. And the ceiling is definitely being cleaned. And it is the area where Mary fell. So maybe if push comes to shove and you really can't get anything on camera, you could always just make a scene of the ceiling because it looks pretty creepy.
Interesting. Junior makes a note of that.
Okay.
Junior, please don't climb the scaffold.
Why would Junior ever climb a scaffold?
Junior sucks at climbing the scaffold. His climbing is his worst stat. He might just do it.
Say, I told you, not after what happened last month. We don't have a medic on staff anymore, Junior, for the love of God.
Okay, maybe not.
I have a surprisingly good athletics. If he desperately needs us to go up there, I will go up there. But anyway, I think we're getting into, we all just got together, right?
You all just got together in the morning. Okay. You all have your Dunkin' Donuts. It is a bit of a rainier morning.
And we all exchange information, all that typical stuff.
The first thing I do is I go straight to Ren and I'm like, okay, so I'm pretty sure you and I are gonna be on the same page. We're both researching. And so I found some stuff about the theater and I was hoping that we could confer on what and compare notes.
Absolutely. What did you find?
So just to save us a little bit of time, because I know you're leaving soon, let's just say that we shared all of our information because we both, the lovely mistress has already explained it all. And at this point, I'm just going to pretend that I know everything that you already know and go, oh, do we happen to have a map of the city that we can like quickly like just mark stuff down on?
You do. Yes.
Well, that was in character, but.
Oh, so I would say like as a GM, so everyone else here knows.
So
give you a color for the scene, you do have that.
I take Ren to like a table, I spread out the map and I'm like, could you tell me those coordinates? You said it was like never more than 6 blocks away. I'd like to mark these down.
And of course I provide the addresses and pinpoint them on the map for.
So now what I'd like to ask you, GM, does it make a picture?
It does make a pattern. Roll me some occult.
Ah, my culty senses were tingling. Good thing I have a decent enough stuff. Okay, so I got a 15.
Okay. You are able to recognize where all of the addresses seem to be pointing. And you do begin to run your finger over it, and it does begin to trace a somewhat familiar sigil that you have seen in your readings before. And I will show it to you very specifically. It looks like this.
Now I'm clearly familiar with this because I am very knowledgeable of the occult, but Ren, do you know this symbol?
Oh. I'm trying to look at my, what skill would that be under?
Occult.
Let's see. I'm not seeing that on my list.
You're probably not.
You're not trained in it, which means you can't roll it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, but my character would know what that is, right?
You are trained in it. You do know it.
Okay, do I make another occult check?
If you would like to make another occult check to attempt to identify if you can link it to something, yes.
Okay. I didn't know if it was part of the other one that I had done.
Do you know what it is off the bat?
I know, but
you can answer if you know. If you know, then the character knows. I would allow that.
Okay.
Only for this one.
my Lovecraft knowledge is a little fuzzy. I know it, but I don't remember the details, so I'd rather have you fill it in.
Of course, you can roll.
Okay, so I got a 11 plus 6 is 17.
17. You do recognize it. It reminds you of a sigil you saw once to describe a god known as the Key in the Gate.
Nona's gonna wander over to you all and be like, you guys know that like cell phones have like MapQuest on them or like Google Maps or like you don't need to use that. And oh my gosh, that's a really cute symbol. That would be, is that like a new coffee place or something?
Roll me a spot check, Nona.
A nat 20.
For a second, you look into the symbol and all of a sudden your eyes lock for a moment. You stare deeply into it and the sigil all of a sudden begins to move and form into a very perfect star, a very beautiful star that begins to glow brightly and intensely into your eyes. Roll me a sanity check.
Fail.
A 43 and I'm at 39.
Yes.
Roll me 1d10 plus 5.
12.
You take 12 points of sanity loss. Plus
Ooh.
5, 17 points of sanity loss.
Ooh.
Well, 7 plus 5. Plus.
Oh, sorry. Yes. 13.
Okay.
I
13
love
points.
that she is the only one losing sanity so far.
Is there anything we can do to aid her, to comfort her?
She does
to-
seem shocked. She does seem like she's seen something. She looks at the symbol and all of a sudden
Okay.
you can see her blanch and you can see her eyes just begin to roll back and she begins to actually like get like a
Okay.
little like lightheaded. And
I
she's about to
may not
faint.
be, we may not have a first aid person, but I'm going to tend to her needs.
Given the way that she has histrionics about the fact that we're all old, I just assume that she's like having a conniption about the fact that we're using a paper map.
Yeah. What are you gonna say? Sorry. Was someone was gonna speak?
I was just gonna say, if I remember correctly from the material, psychoanalysis is what's used to help
That's
someone
correct.
so I do have that skill. I could certainly try to assist Nona in trying to deal with whatever it is she just saw.
I like that.
And I got a nat 20.
Ooh, that's actually quite good. You're gonna need that. All right. Nona, you are afflicted with an immediate and deep fear of the map in the middle, and also a deep fear of your phone.
Great. I'm looking for a lighter. Does anyone have a lighter?
The phone's in front of you.
Oh, well, I'll throw the phone and I'm looking for a lighter.
It's just a paper map.
I really don't. We need to get rid of this. You should burn that. Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Nona,
Nona, calm down.
We existed
down.
in paper for years before you were born.
Theo, let's let Ren, because Ren did roll the psychology roll.
Nona, what happened? Talk to me.
It's filled with stars and they're definitely evil and you don't look at it. Don't look at the map.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. I fully believe you think you saw something here. Okay. Maybe it was just a trick of the light.
See something.
Okay. And I recognize that you think you did. All right.
No, I did see something.
Okay. All right. I'll accept that. But here's the thing. Okay. There's nothing on that paper that's going to hurt you. And there's certainly nothing in that phone that's going to hurt you. Okay. And no one here is going to let anything else hurt you either. Okay. You're not alone here. So whatever you saw, okay, it's not something that can physically harm you. Okay.
Now, Nona, as Ren speaks these words, you can feel like they do feel calming. They do feel warm. You do begin to look around a bit more, and you see the other people around you, Junior and Evander and Theo, and you can see exactly like their faces, how they're twisted and a little bit shocked that your outburst seems to have been just unseen by them.
Okay. Oh,
Roll a d10.
okay.
Ren? Actually, Ren gets to roll a d10.
Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
D10.
Yep.
Okay, that's a 3.
3. And then what's your plus to your psychology?
To psychoanalysis, I've
Psychoanalysis, yeah.
a bonus of 6.
6. Okay, you can take back 9. No. It's not the exact rules, but I'm going to make it fast. So you do feel yourself calming. And now that you look, it doesn't look like that again.
Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna start sipping on my coffee and just kind of like looking back and forth, a little crazy, a little leery.
And I just, no, why don't you get a little bit of fresh air? We'll keep working. When you feel like you're ready to come back, we'll be here, all right?
Good morning, everyone. You hear from behind you, and you turn around and see Sarah with her coffee and her coat on. She just came in from the rain. Also, Ren seems to be exactly on time. If you wanted to skedaddle still.
Yeah, I'm afraid I have to, guys. Good luck with the rest of it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for playing, and thank you for helping with that part. Everyone, the historian.
Glad to be of help. Glad to be of help. See you guys later.
Thank you. All right, I will send over the historian sheet into your cohort chat, so you will have access to it. Let me do that right now before we go any further, so you can have access to his stats. Thank you to Nick, by the way. That was Nick, everyone, playing the historian. Really appreciate it. All right, so we have our first little shock portion, it seems, or we've gotten past it. Finally, I get somebody. But now we're down to 5, and Sarah has just come in and is looking at everyone and basically interrupts you during your morning prep and says, I'm not sure if you'd be interested, but we are going to be visiting Mary today to see how she's doing. If you would wish to talk to her, we can arrange that. Maybe it would be fun for her to be on a TV show.
Yeah, I would love to go visit her and interview her.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mary is at the local hospital, also called St. Mary's Hospital. For those of you who wish to attend St. Mary's, you're more than welcome to. But for those of you who may not wish to attend a hospital, you may look towards other avenues. I would point out the Sound and Light Club, and I would also point out Frank Long, are 2 alternate avenues that have been opened up.
Well, conferring with the other people in the group, I know I very much would like to see the basement. That's where I think anything that of interest to at least my speciality is going to be. Frank Long, I think, is also going to be a very good potential person to talk to and get information on, especially in terms of like the history. And I turn to Junior. Junior, I think that because you're such a fantastic interviewer, maybe you would be best to go see Frank Long, or maybe even Mary.
Yeah, I'm interested in Mary, and you're going to be at the theater, so I found some revealing information about the ceiling. So you might, from a demonology point of view, and since check it out and see what you can find out about it, because that is where, if I recall correctly, that Mary hurt herself, I believe, or something like that.
That's a good point. I looked at the floor and never looked at the ceiling.
Yeah, and I'm going to be talking with Mary about that, and I'm not going to bombard her with video, with video, but just audio if she's willing to talk. Okay, drive
We
the
need to
car.
get some video, Junior, because we have to have, it's a TV show. We got to put something on there.
Well, I'll just grab my audio equipment and you guys focus on the video.
Okay. Well,
I'll
then
make it
see you-
kind of like a radio show a little bit, and I casually drive to the hospital.
Now
So
I'll
you'll be
go. I want to check out this Sound Alike Club. Something tells me we're gonna get some good footage.
Okay, so and Nona.
I am grabbing my makeup kit and stashing my cell phone farther away from me than I normally would, and riding to the hospital because somebody that's in the hospital probably needs a makeover.
Probably.
So
Probably.
I think that the historian character would probably be coming with us.
Yes, I would say.
So
Yeah.
we'll assume that Ren is going with Evander and I, and while she's here, I'm going to try to grab Sarah before she goes off to do her important stuff and ask for the key to the basement.
Ah, yes, of course. And she reaches in her pocket and pulls out the keys to the storage closets and the basement as well. And she says, "You're more than welcome to look around anywhere you want. I will say that the basement is one of the unfinished areas, so you know. It is quite beautiful down there. I'm not exactly sure what it once was, but definitely was something. Once we get down there and perhaps clean it up a bit more, we can get more information for you."
Well, I have some exciting things to tell you because this is going to be great for your gala. Apparently, it used to be a speakeasy.
A speakeasy? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that must explain the ceilings. They are gilded. Yes. Oh, yes. That's wonderful, actually. It's even
If
more
you-
historic. If we can get that fixed up, that's going to be
That sounds like where you can do the alcohol during the gala. Just saying.
alcohol, restaurant. You can do a lot of things down there. We could easily make some more revenue for the movies, and because the group is a nonprofit, so all this money would be going towards charity work.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much, and good luck with everything. I may be out to try to check out the ceiling later.
Of course. Yes. Sounds good. And I'd love to hear your perspectives on it. If you can glean any more historical information, we'd love to hear it and put it into our work.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Of course. Yes. And for those of you wishing to visit Mary, come with me. I'll drive you, actually.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to give Evander the keys to the storage rooms because I believe I overheard him wanting to do that yesterday.
Mhm.
So before we break to them, I'm going to ask Evander, do you want to come with me to see the basement, or do you want to break up and check out the storage rooms?
I want to see the basement. That actually sounds kind of cool.
Okay. Can we make sure
Okay.
that we're getting some footage of this because it's going to be gold? Pun intended.
God bless. All right.
Thanks, Jimbo. Come on, you ready?
Got you. I got you.
All right, let's go.
All right, so you had to head down. We're going to go over, jump to St. Mary's Hospital first. So if you are uncomfortable with medical death, this is the scene that you should step out for. However, let's go there. You get into the car and you get into a small sedan that is not very stately or nice. It is a little messy and has fast food all over it. And this is Sarah's car, just a Corolla, a Toyota Corolla. She takes you over to the hospital, weaving and winding through Boston's interlaced streets that are almost as complicated as the Paradise's carpet itself. Down Storrow Drive, down across 95, and outside of the city to a wonderful brick building that seems to be sitting off on its own. Chiseled into the facade is St. Mary's Hospital. And outside are two seeming weeping nuns, weeping for the pain and the death that has occurred in this building, and that yet weeping for the healing, as it says beneath them, all hands can heal. Walking into the building, you can see a variety of modern medical equipment has been replacing the older equipment. Even the building is most certainly still in the 1930s style, but yet it's been interlaced with Wi-Fi and modern conveniences and air conditioning as well. But the halls, once you get inside, especially in the newer wings, are still quite barren, still quite bare, still quite standard hospital outside of the main lobby. She brings you down a few of the corridors, and you do make it to Mary's room. With a swift knock, you hear oh, come, and then nothing. And
Mary? I start to like push the door open.
so you open the door and you see Mary sitting in her bed, and she's sitting straight up like this. The bed is all the way raised, and she's just staring at the television. Seems to be daytime television on for her entertainment. And she's just seemingly staring into the screen, watching Regis Philbin, like you would in any hospital. The room also is a double, so there is another man there. It seems to be an elderly man. His wife is attending to him, and they seem to be like the curtains somewhat pulled, and they're quietly whispering a little bit. The man seems to be unresponsive. The windows are open, and a little bit of the gray skies are filtering in, as well as the rain tapping on the window.
Does Mary have like a monitor or anything?
You can hear the monitor on, and it's very calmly beep, beep. And you can also hear the other monitor chiming in tone as well. Beep, 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 beep.
I turn on the audio and just contemplate for a minute, giving her a piece for a moment.
Sarah?
Yeah?
Is she always like this?
She has had some communication difficulties since the accident. They think it might have been she hit her head. It is a 40-foot scaffolding. She fell onto the chairs. And you can see, yeah, like she's bandaged up, like her arm is broken, she's bruised. Like there's like a big fat lip off the side of her, she hit, like she does not look in the best of conditions, but she seems to be conscious, she seems to be alert, seems to be responsive. But yet, while her eyes are watching the television, her face does seem to be tilted slightly towards you.
Hello, Mary. We've heard a lot of good things about you. I'm using my bluff, by the way. My friend and I, we're here to, we understand that you were quite a persona at the Paradise Theater, and quite a person. Back in the heyday, you were quite a lady, and we really like to hear of all the wonderful times and some of the not so nice times that may have occurred while you were at the Paradise Theater. Please, if you can, let us know.
She shakes her head for a minute and blinks. And as she does, the woman kisses the man's forehead very gently. And then she looks up, her blue eyes looking at all of you and making eye contact before she quietly bows her head and pulls the curtain a bit further. And then she actually steps out of the room, giving you all privacy, seeming to, note the occasion that you're here for a reason, right? And not wanting to intrude upon your work. At this point, Mary does look at you, and she seems to focus a bit more. Her eyes focus on you, Junior. And she goes, oh, hi. Yes, my name is Mary Green.
It's nice to meet you.
She tries to nod, and as you can see, like, the looking at her eye, there's like that bruise is just like, it's hard to even see what color her eyes are beneath the bruises. And she is in full traction, by the way, legs suspended, arms suspended.
Mary, would you like some makeup to make you feel better?
I don't think I can have any.
Oh, it's okay. We'll bend the rules for you, Mary. Don't worry about it.
Sarah leans in and goes, I think she actually can't have any.
Oh,
It-
okay.
Her face looks like pretty swollen. Maybe we could just like, if she wants something pretty, I'll just do some designs on her cast. Like,
Beep, beep,
I like that.
beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep,
Mary,
beep.
how
Yes. Beep, beep,
I hope
beep, beep,
we can leave a lasting legacy for you in this world. I hope
beep, beep,
that we can remember the best of you, and that's all.
beep, beep,
Mary, before I go,
beep, beep.
is there
Junior,
anything?
do you
Yes.
want to ask her what happened?
No, I'm not going to. That's a tragic thing. I mean, would you like to?
Yeah.
I felt
Yes, what happened?
beep, 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 beep.
How did you fall?
What?
How did you fall?
She seems to look down at this and focuses and closes her eyes, and she then looks back up and confused, and she goes, I didn't fall.
Oh, okay.
And Sarah, at this point, you notice that she's not looking at Mary. She seems to be like eyes locked on the other man, and like she's watching the heart monitor for some reason, like it matters. But she seems to say nothing. Mary then shakes her head again and smiles, and she goes, are you from the paradise?
Well, we're at the paradise right now, but we don't work there per se. We're investigating the paradise.
This isn't paradise. This is hell. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Beep, beep.
Junior, this seems more your realm. That's
Beep,
creepy
beep.
and weird.
Well, Mary, I'm not going to take up much more of your time, but I just want to let you know.
Don't fall down.
Oh no, Mary.
Make a listen check, both of you.
Okay.
Nat 20.
One moment as I look that up. Very good. Gosh. Oh, there we go.
Beep, beep.
17.
Beep, beep.
17. Nurse, and I scream, nurse, please.
It gets loud, and all of a sudden, as you hear this high-pitched whine screaming in your head, ripping apart your mind, you can hear and see in her face that she stares into your eyes, and she looks forward, and her eyes go blank white, and she says the following words, very clear to you: I did not fall down, I fell up. And the TV explodes behind. Make a spot check.
Yes. I visually describe on the audio what we've just seen. Ladies and gentlemen, the TV just exploded. This is very, very scary. Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Shards of glass explode. It's shattering across the room. Sparks fly. Two doctors immediately start running in. Make a spot check, like I said.
I got a nat 1 that time.
I got a whole 11.
As you look up Junior, your eyes immediately dart to the television set, seeing it explode in real time. And just before you're able to see it, it was before it detonates in front of your eyes, you see on the TV screen, there's another camera, and it's not yours. There's a camera in this room, and you know for a fact hospital rooms do not have cameras inside of them. And it's looking from the corner directly at Mary. And as you look up, you can see yourself on one side of the bed, But on the other side of the bed, there is a white figure holding her face, making her eyes stare upwards. Roll a sanity check.
Fail, 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 fail.
Ironically, I failed by 1. I hope you're first. Where's our true psychologist here? Are you the historian, Nona? Because this camera that I see, my goodness gracious.
Roll a d8.
The historian is with us, sadly, not you.
Yep.
Okay, one moment. I have to grab a D8. Here we go.
And then Nona, you failed your spot, so you did not see this.
My goodness, I had a 1.
So
Goodness
your
gracious.
eyes are locked on the man dying in the other room, dying in the corner. He's arched upwards, and you can see he's convulsing, and like there's blood actually starting to seep out of his mouth as he's coughing, and he coughs it out towards and hits a little bit of the phone, and all of a sudden seems to collapse, just lifeless, just no motion. Everything just came out at once and just simply fell, almost like the television set.
Right. This is all very scarily, and I use my best ability to run out there and scream like a banshee. Ah!
Are you using run?
Yes, it's my best ability.
It is the second feat I gave you. Yeah, so you are able to run. You do see this. What was your d6 roll?
A 1.
A 1. Oh, you only take 1 point of damage. Wow, that's really easy for you. And then everyone here also roll a reflex save. Oh, thank you for the subscription with Prime, Twitching with Taj. We appreciate that. Thank you.
My reflex save
We're having
is
fun.
a 25.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, you are able to immediately shield your face just as the glass flies in, and none of it seems to get you.
Great. I've got my like little sweater thing that I'm wearing. Like shield.
Yeah, yeah. You quickly pulled up just as this. You see the screen go bright white in the background, and you get it up just in time.
Just great because as I'm watching this old man die, I'm like looking in horror and like someone should probably get his wife. Where did she go?
At this point, the medical staff is going, move, excuse us, get out of here. And it's like, where's Harry? Harry's dying. Get Robert in here. We need a crash cart.
That's horrible. Ooh.
Too much?
I think they need more than the crash cart, but okay.
Yeah. So at this point, they begin defibbing. But as you're being pushed out of the room, you can see that they're failing very hard. Nothing seems to be happening, and you hear this fucking Robert in here, fucking fix this fucking thing. And then the door closes. Sarah looks at you like aghast, like, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. That was like a lot.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Did you get any of the glass? And like shaking her hair?
No, yeah, there's a couple shards up there, and she just brushes them off. I think I need to go home.
That seems like a good idea.
Can she drop them back?
I think I need coffee. Like,
let's get some coffee.
Yeah.
Right. Evander, they're a
Yeah.
Dark Star. So you have the keys to the basement, and you find the Paradise's basement room with ease. Unlocking it open and seeing the darkness below, there is a flight of stairs descending about 20 feet into the darkness. There is wall on either side, and it is concrete, cold.
Is there a light switch?
No.
Do I have a light on my camera, or does? Well, no. Jimbo, you want to light it up in here?
Yeah, we would have, our team would have lighting.
Yeah, at this point, Jimbo hits the back of your camera, and you do have a spotlight on the front, you know, for shoots like this. Hey.
I forgot about this.
Clickio's got you, boss.
Much appreciated.
And it's big. It's good. You got about 40 feet of light with that. You can see right down the steps, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, with all the precautions that one would obviously take with stairs, I descend down.
Definitely shine the light in front to make sure that Theo can see.
No problem. No problem doing that. So once you walk downstairs, you are able to. We're gonna go to the basement for a little bit. Let's actually flip the game. Let me actually get up the map again.
While you're doing that, so Evander, hey, let's start rolling. Let's get a good shot of this entrance. This is gonna be great for the show. Okay, so let's
Absolutely.
roll.
Yeah, absolutely. Rolling. We are live.
That's in. Zoom out.
Okay, so this is the secret basement of the Paradise Theater. No one has been in here for years. Not even the restoration crew has been down here yet. So we, all of you Death Watchers out there, this is going to be your first time. You and me were in here together. So, Astra, describe the room for us.
Of course. Entering the basement, there are two pairs of stairs on either side. Looks to be another entrance to the basement as well. You do spot within the dusty basement, there are plenty of chairs for seating. There is an old area where there could have been a small stage if there was a singer for the night. There is most certainly an old bar. It is decrepit. Let me read it as follows. Let's see. That's not what I want. That's something else. This is, there we go. This is a large open space that was once beautiful, but has long since fallen into moldy ruin. During Prohibition in the 1930s, you do know that the Allens operated this basement as an illegal speakeasy. There is the old bar down here, as well as some ratty couches and chairs. At some point after the theater closed, one of the exit doors appears to have been jimmied open, and the basement did become a haven for homeless and teenagers. The walls are covered in graffiti, and the carpet smells of urine. It doesn't appear anyone's done anything down here. In fact, the furnace seems to be it seems all they've done is get the furnace working and reroute the electrical wiring. The old circuit board is a big wooden slab about 8 feet tall by 6 feet wide, covered with large old throw switches and dials. This thing looks like it came straight from Frankenstein's lab. The board doesn't seem to be connected to anything now.
Okay, so I'm going to remember the story that Ren told me about the girl disappearing into a private room behind the bar. So I would like to search that area, and while I'm doing that, I'm obviously going to be trying to tell the historical story for the camera.
I continue rolling.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to the correct.
So where are we going?
I'm searching for a hidden room behind the bar.
Okay, so why are you searching for a hidden room in specific?
Because what I remembered from what it was that the woman in that one story, she went behind the bar into a room.
Ah, correct. Get a +5 because you remember that detail. And yes, it seems from initial glance, there is no door. Time to search.
Okay, so I got a total of 15.
And did you take the +5 to it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good news. As your hands move behind the bar and start looking at the plaster, you all of a sudden feel something depress, just about where you read in the police report. It seems that there is, in fact, something here. There's a faint impression of a door behind the bar, painted and plastered over. What do you want to do?
Oh, I'm opening it.
Well, it's painted and plastered over.
Okay, so do I have access to a knife?
Give me a search.
I feel like as a tech guy, I'd carry some sort of multi-tool, including a knife.
You do not need to do a search then. Yes, you do.
Okay, so Evander, if you trust me, I can have knife, or if if Jimbo can hold the camera, you can come in here and try to cut away this door so we can get to it.
Yeah, let me do that. I don't trust you with this thing. Yo, Jimbo, can you hold this? Make sure we
Hey,
get
boss.
Thanks.
He holds it, and then as he's holding it, he reaches into this giant bag on his hip that has all its AV tools. Yeah, pulls out hammer. There you go.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Good. All right, good. I'm dual wielding. Awesome. In case anything jumps out at me, yeah, let's go. All right.
Yeah.
Kind of carve open the thing.
All right. So you start sticking the knife into the edge of the door where the door should be, cutting away the plaster, and start knocking it in. Give me an athletics check, please.
Let me see here. Let me find athletics. You said athletics?
Mm-hmm.
I
don't
mean,
have
athletics
athletics
is
on
a
mine.
thing.
You could do strength too. Well, I'll just take straight strength modifier. We can just
Okay,
make
cool,
an
'cause
attribute
I
roll.
don't seem to have athletics.
Probably
I
don't.
have athletic, but it's a +2 modifier that just goes on a strength.
That's because I gave it to the other person. I gave it to the demonologist. You don't have it.
Okay. Or did you mean to give it to me?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Did I remove a very handy skill from someone who should have had it? Yes. Yes, I did.
I got a 2 plus a 3, which is a 5.
So as you're banging into the door, it seems your hand slips and you immediately bang the hammer into your hand. Roll a d4,
Ow.
please.
Say that again.
Roll a d4.
1.
Okay, you take 1 damage from hitting your own hand with a hammer. And I was really hoping. How much HP do you have?
7.
Yeah. See, here's the problem. See, when I remove very important skills from you, like, I don't know, hammering, you might start taking damage from these rolls.
I kind of shake my head and I indicate to hand me the knife and the hammer, and I'm going to try to take over.
All right, fine.
Okay, yeah.
So I roll a.
You're a bit of a klutz. Not sure if you noticed.
I mean, I do have a low dexterity.
You do.
So is athletic a +2 to a strength modifier? I'm trying to understand.
Oh, sorry. It's I believe I gave you +2, and then you have another +2 because of your strength, so you should be fine.
Okay, so
Yeah.
4, and
Yeah.
that's 19.
All right, then yes, you do with precision show up the AV guy and just like bam, 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 like straight across, open the door right up, and you are able to access a hidden portion of the basement. The minute you open this, it is located directly beneath the actual large section of the theater. Decades of dust have filtered down through the ceiling boards, coating this whole huge area in fine gray powder. No lights here. You don't even see any electrical going into this room. It's never been lit. It is dark. You will need flashlights. That is what you see so far. Yeah.
We do
Oh,
have
you
the
do have the
light for the
floodlight.
camera.
Okay, so the floodlight comes in. The door opens into a small area blocked off by 3 fabric screens that are now stretched from floor to ceiling. They are made of a thin, gauzy material and are stretched taut. They look like mist. But once your eyes adjust, you begin to see in the very clear light that these are screens extended from the floor to the ceiling.
This is weird.
So I feel like this is going to be obvious, but I'm going to want to do an occult check on this room to see if there's anything spooky about it.
Are you entering the room?
Of course I am going to enter the room. I have no
The second you step into the room and your boot hits the first tile in the room, you hear a loud and it depresses beneath your foot deeply. You feel yourself shift.
Oh, you good over there, Theo?
That was the tile and not my ankle, thankfully.
The minute as Theo is saying this, you're looking straight behind as Theo's turned around, and you can see a whole variety of lights all of a sudden shoot out and hit the screen and immediately lights them up. You, directly in front of your eyes, Evander, see images, grainy black and white. A crowd of men are now standing behind Theo, almost staring you down behind them. They are dressed in the same clothing. It seems to be a dull gray cloth. It's almost silver. And they have blank faces of white with no eyes or mouth. They're standing all in this very basement. It looks like this image was recorded here and actually positioned within the same areas they would have been standing had it been real life. All they are doing right now, projected right now, it seems to form a nearly continuous image in front of the door of men in these odd outfits just staring at you like a wall. That's all you can see through the doorway. Theo and this wall of people behind them.
Theo, you seeing this? Look, what?
Oh, Fortuna.
Okay, so
like this.
You hear the music from upstairs and you hear again, God, Robert, shut it off.
So you said this is behind me. My back is to the screens. So I started to go into the room, but then I turned and faced Evander.
Yeah, to do the camera shot, right? And then the screens lit up because you clicked turn, okay. Right? And then it lit up behind you. So you can turn around. Yeah.
In response to him, I'm going to try to turn around really quickly to see what he's seeing.
You see everything. You see the screens are lit. You see the men staring at you. No eyes, no mouth, no face, just blank white mask.
Ooh, and absolutely a cult check. I need a D, not an S. And I failed my occult check. At least I assume I got a 12.
Yeah, you don't know. No. Nothing. 0. Zilch.
Oh, this is just a really interesting contraction.
As it keeps going, it seems like it's never stopping. It's just these people just sort of standing there. They're not really moving very much. They just move every once in a while, but it's a film loop.
I experimentally left my foot off the tile.
Still runs. It's still going with your foot off the tile.
Okay, so I'm just going to go into the room and examine it further since there's nothing else weird happening.
Yep. As you get into the room, you find something very interesting behind the screens, walking around them. There are 3 projectors mounted on top of massive wooden thrones, each covered in gold leaf, and are each now blanketed by dust. Each of these wooden thrones is elevated on a dais about 8 inches high. The walls and ceiling are all covered by a mural showing the night sky, as seen from the roof of the Paradise Theater.
I'm going to try another occult check.
It does seem like these are projecting. By the way, the power is coming in from the top. It seems as though someone has run wiring down through the floor and into the projectors. It is hanging from the ceiling in this area.
This one I got a nat 20.
Nat
so
20?
26.
And this is for the stars?
Yeah.
Yep. So you notice doing your research check, this is a very specific time, in fact, because you just are able to, you almost noticed this last night when you were doing your research in Miskatonic. This is the position of the stars tomorrow.
Literally tomorrow.
Quite literally tomorrow night.
Well, that is definitely curious.
Very interesting.
Oh, Ren's with us. Would Ren be doing anything?
Up to both of you. If you have any ideas for what Ren would do.
I'm trying, I think that he would like you, because before Nick left, he said he wanted to try to research the history more. So I think that Ren would be like trying to like date this room, see how old it is. And I assume that his knowledge is probably comparable to mine. It's a like probably like a knowledge history 6.
Yep. So what we're going to be looking at here is, yeah, definitely. I put the sheet into the cohort chat. You would definitely want to do a This is an interesting check because there is nothing suggested in the book for it, but I would like to be able to give him the opportunity because I think it's an interesting opportunity. And I do want to stop him just because the book doesn't say to do it doesn't mean you can't, right? Like, you can easily put things in, and I know that there are links here, for example. I would say probably the archaeology or history. There are things in this room that he could respond to easily.
Okay. So I will leave the question of whether it should be archaeology or history because it's sort of a shared character right now. What do you think?
Whatever he's better at. Like I would look at whatever his strength is and focus on that, build into it. And because he's a historian, he has a bit of the Southern accent, right? We're going to be looking at that thing really, maybe some of the walls, maybe some of the smaller details that might be missed by the occult eye,
And if you mentioned the stars, maybe physics might come into play.
Physics as well. Yeah, physics can come into play too.
Okay.
One of the best things you can do as a GM, as always, I think this, Tebra, it's find what the character is good at and play to their strengths, right? And or whatever really interests the person. And I was really glad Nick picked up the historian as the first go. Nick said he wasn't sure what to play actually. He was pretty open with that, and he wanted to play something within his wheelhouse, something that he could understand, and that was the historian. And so research was a big thing for him. So researching seems very apt right now.
Okay, then I'm going to go with knowledge history. I think it's going to be a good one for him. And I rolled a 17 for him plus 7, which is 24.
Because this is an interesting situation where you can let players do this all the time, right? As long as they're keeping the spirit of the character alive, the way the other person would have played it, this is fine, right? Like this is absolutely fine.
Think he would do.
Yeah, and then as a GM, I'm not going to put that character in any dangerous situations unless there would be a reason for me to do that, right? At any time, I would try and keep him out of danger unless there is an explicit reason why he would never be able to get out of danger and would have to be in the scene, right? That way I can at least control what is happening to him and not throwing him into bad situations without him being here. But if for some reason he would get caught in one, then I would probably divert away from the scene and then we would do something else, or even time skip too, to allow someone like you, Theo, to keep playing, or Evander to keep playing, and then keep moving the game on, and then come back to that scene later, play it out, and then apply its effects for future forward again. Because you can do that all the time. Movies do it all the time. Shows do it all the time. They show scenes out of order. It's fine. Yep. All right. So we do have this research roll, and you did. What was the number again?
24.
24. Wonderful. So on this 24, this is a very good roll, and you are able to find a lot of the room through the dust at this point. He's moving his hands down through the dust and is finding that there is a 40-foot diameter circle of inlaid marble in the center of this concrete floor, right around where the thrones are. There are a number of twisted sigils responding to what he says are his known religion or mythology within his wheelhouse. This all looks very familiar, but yet I've never seen anything like this before. In fact, there's no book, there's nothing I've ever seen in Miskatonic that could even relate to this. Even if you look over here, I'd say that these stains of blood.
So that's immediately going to get my attention to want to investigate in a more occult manner.
So as he's pointing, give me another occult roll.
That's 21.
The floor is stained in numerous places as you're looking around now, and each of these stains seem to be quite old, very dark, very decrepit blood. From your initial perspective and smell, there's no smell to it, but it's caked like it. And then also next to it, there seems to be candle wax dripping all over the floor.
Ugh.
in multiple places. But turning around, it does also, as you're exploring this section more, there is an opening on the back of each of the thrones that you can see now. You've gone around the thrones.
Okay. And,
But they're all sealed shut and they appear to be locked.
ooh. That's exciting because I have this incredibly obscure, and I don't know why I have it, but I'm super excited that I have it. Open lock. It is my best trait. I
Would
would
you like to pick it?
Yes, please.
Evander, do you have open lock?
Yes,
What did
I
get
do.
to? I did. You would like to pick another one?
Yeah, I'll try.
Ooh, all right.
I didn't roll very well, but I got a 14.
Hey, boss, you want me to pick one?
Yeah, let's
hold
get
on,
into
Jimbo.
this.
All right.
I think I got this.
I
No,
got
I
this.
don't. A total of 4.
Ooh, yeah. No, you have a lot of trouble on your lock and you're unable to get it open.
Not my day over here.
Yeah. Jim Bob actually does get his lock open with ease. He says so, goes,
Jim Bob, and words.
and then
Thank you,
all of a
Jim
sudden,
Bob.
after the last, you hear a click. And then finally, you also get your lock open, Theo, and it opens with a quick click. Would you like to try again on your lock, Evander?
Yes, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do
Doesn't
this.
seem like you jammed it.
What?
It doesn't seem like you jammed the lock, which is good.
All right, let's try this again. 18 plus.
Ooh, okay. You don't even tell me the
All right.
others. You're good.
Got it.
Yeah. At this time, you got kind of concerned because when you got the shiv portion to the very back of the lock, it started to get stuck and break, and you were very concerned that the lock was going to like get caught and have the shiv get caught inside, but you're able to pull it out and the lock actually opens. Yeah. So inside each of the thrones, you find the following in each one. One of them, the very far left, has a human skull. The middle has a candle. And then the right has a trumpet. The central throne also contains a handwritten book described in a nearby sidebar.
Gimme.
All right. You
I go right for that book.
All right, you push the books, the dust off the book, and you're able to see there is a piece of duct tape on the front, and written on it in very old ink, not duct tape, like it seems to be some sort of like sticky substance to write on, right? And it says the Book of Sound and Light.
There we go.
You can examine this over 1 week. It does seem very dense.
I don't
It's-
have a week.
It's thick. Would you like to peruse it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll me a quick research check.
Okay, so we decided research is going to be knowledgeable.
We'll just do knowledge occult for this one. That also applies here.
14.
Okay. Touching the paper, you're able to open it up and see what's inside. It looks like there is a variety of rituals and prayers in here, written in a language that you don't quite understand or have seen before, but you are seeing a lot of references to one particular name again and again and again, and it is Yog-Sothoth. Yog-Sothoth. It seems to be written. YOG-SOTOTH, Yog-Sothoth. It also contains, it appears, potentially some magic, a spell called the Corridor of One, and another spell called the Persistence of Vision. Roll me a sanity check.
I hope I fail.
Fail.
Fail. 100, not 20. I've got a 72. I mean, I got a 72.
That's bad. That's
That's
bad.
bad.
That's bad.
Yes.
All right, roll me a D4.
Welcome to the Insanity Club.
4?
D4.
4. The 2.
2. Well, you take 2 sanity damage.
Yes.
You're going to gain 2 ranks of Cthulhu Mythos. And as you're looking through the book, you notice that some of the pages begin, as your hand goes across them, they're no longer paper. You feel the distinct feeling of film gripping, sticky to your hand. And all of a sudden, as you look down and move your hand across the page, it looks like the film leaves blood for a moment across the page. You blink and the page seems to be back to normal. It's not made of film and there is no blood. It is just a normal written page. By the way, the clicking in the background is still going. The projectors are still running.
You good over there, Theo?
Yeah. I just, it's an old book, and like they get that kind of old, and it just got me for a second. But I'm gonna be fine.
You feel yourself getting tired, by the way.
We got some good footage, right, Ev?
Yeah. Jim Bob, what do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think? You think we got some good footage? I think we're doing great.
Yeah.
This is wow.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever found gotta find this great. You know what, viewers? I promise I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna study it, and we're gonna come back.
Oh,
So-
man.
Isn't there a good psychoanalyst in the house that can help this poor young lady out?
Well, they have to know something's wrong with me. Hey, Ev, let's cut the cameras. Okay.
All right, Jim Bob, yeah, cut it. We're good.
All
I'm
right.
kind of tired. I think I'm gonna go upstairs with them. Oh, they said they wanted me to see the ceiling before we go. Let's take a look at the ceiling before we leave.
I've going upstairs, by the way, it seems like the day has passed very rapidly. It's already night. You don't know when the time passed, but getting
Jeez.
back, yeah, it seems Nona and Junior are just returning as well from the hospital. Must have been a long visit. So it seems the day is ending. You do have, Sarah says she has to lock up the Paradise, unfortunately, for one more night, but tomorrow is the gala. So, you can get a lot of really great footage there, probably. You have one last night to research or do other options before the morning arrives.
I'm gonna take this brand new stinking book. I'm gonna take it to the Miskatonic Library and see if there's anything there that will help me to kind of decipher it, and really just, I'm gonna probably spend all night poured over it. And yes, as exhausted as I feel, I'm gonna try to force myself to research this.
Of course.
And I think that Ren, guys, what do you think he would be doing?
Doing more research on anything imagery regarding that video we saw.
You didn't really investigate it that long. I mean, you could look it up. You can try and do a search for similar terms on the internet, or look for, it's the Sound and Light Club. You have that as well.
Yeah.
But there was also, he's pretty good at physics, and there was something about the stars also, I believe, that might be relevant.
So, yeah, let's say because he's very history based, he's the historian. Let's see if he can find, he might be looking for references to Sound and Light, maybe even outside of this town, just see if there's anything in regards to that. Does that sound like a...
Yeah, that works. Yeah, you can do a research on that. Yeah, everyone like it.
So that's us. And so what's everyone else doing?
I saw a whole human die today.
The whole human.
So I'm gonna go take a bubble bath and really just try to forget about today.
I have the heal skill, so I'm just gonna go and do a little first aid on my hand.
Nice. Okay.
I think what I'd like to do is pull the charts the best tactful way that I can, is pull the charts on Mary and see if I could find out some history about her family genealogy, and people can tell me about her so that I can try and determine why she might have, because she says she did not fall from the scaffolding per se, but maybe somebody ...
Mhm.
So I'm trying to find out something along that angle.
Dave, I
know
did notice
from
there was a little bit of a misunderstanding that I want to. She's with the restoration crew. She doesn't have any ties that we know of yet to the theater itself.
oh yeah, she's
aside
no
from
ties to you.
restoring it.
Yeah, she works at the Paradise, but she is not a member of the Paradise's like Sound and Light Club or anything like that. She
Right,
just
but
works for Metro Arts. Yeah.
she was the one who they said might have fell from the scalping though,
She
right?
did fall
Yeah.
from the scaffolding, and you were able to pick up that she said, "I did not fall down, I fell up."
Yeah.
Very specific.
That's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to pursue something along that angle and dig more into her history as I can.
Yeah. Okay. So you are unfortunately unable to find like medical records because that's privileged information. You would not have access to that, obviously. But you can look up some history on Mary and maybe like some information about her, of course. Yeah, like website searches and other news mentions and things like that. Let's start with Nona. Nona, you go home. What does your home look like? Like, what does your bathroom look like?
It is a mess. There is makeup everywhere. There are clothes everywhere. There's like clothes hanging from things that like you wouldn't even expect clothes to be hanging from. Just yes, it's a disaster zone. It looks like someone gets ready in the morning and does not clean up afterwards.
Nice. So you're taking this bubble bath, you're relaxing, you're deep in it, and it's really, really nice. And all of a sudden outside you hear a beep beep, beep beep, beep beep.
Like slide my head under the water and then pop back up again.
Maybe a listen check.
Not 20.
Beep. And as you slide your head under the water, the second you open your eyes, you see the face of the dead man from earlier staring back under the water at you. His eyes are wide open and his mouth just
Holy shit!
roll a
Flop
sanity
out of the
check.
bathtub and like
Roll a sanity
grabbing
check.
at whatever is around to like cover myself and get the hell out of the bathroom.
Sanity check.
That is a 1.
Oh, you pass. The flying colors. Take 1d4. Still pretty bad. You're
Yeah.
still shaken by it, but you only take 1d4.
1.
1 damage. And 1 Cthulhu Mythos.
I forgot to ask, is that like 1-to-1 when you take damage?
It is 1-to-1. Yep.
Okay.
And is that Cthulhu Mythos a gain in a sense?
It is a gain. It goes upwards and it has no cap. It can go up to 99. It is the only stat that has no cap.
Very good. Thank you.
Yep. That's what happens to Nona. Evander, you're working on your hand, right?
Yeah, I'm tending to my hand. It hurts.
Roll me a heal check.
Okie doke. uh 2 plus where did I put my thing? 1 is 3 total.
3 total. Okay. Well, so you start suturing and like start patting your hand and doing a few things, and then you start thinking to yourself, well, it is really swollen. You should really relieve the pressure. So you get a knife out to like pierce it and lance it a little bit, right? And the second you pierce it, the blood coagulates up, and then all of a sudden you see it moves and it writhes and it starts to spew and crawl out of your wound and bleed down the edges of your skin, moving like a mind of its own, spidering down your arm. Roll sanity check. The patterns begin to weave and interweave with each other, and they shimmer and shiver on the arm.
$95.
Run d10.
One.
Okay, 1 damage.
Ow.
You're lucky. You're lucky. No healing gain back, but you do recover overnight, not from your tending the wounds, because you suck, but you did put a bandage on and you did clean it up. But you did get that health back because you rested.
Yeah.
Theo, what are we doing? What was your action?
I was researching.
Researching. That's right. I recommended you last, Junior. Your action.
He was researching.
Researching into the genealogy and basic news clippings about Mary and her time at the theater.
The number.
The number.
What's the roll?
What am I rolling? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. It's going to be the d20 plus. Just use your intelligence modifier. Should be at the top of the page.
It's not going to help much because I rolled a natural 1.
Oh,
and I got a +1 to that, so I got a total of 2.
You find no information on Mary. She's just a student.
Oh.
That's the best you can find. She's a student at MIT.
I'm the
Sorry.
best anchor in the world. Not.
He just wasn't worth investigating. It's not you, Junior.
Indeed. Theo.
Okay,
and
you
your
also
last-
have Ren. Did you want to do him before me or?
Oh, yeah, let's do both of you at the same time. What did you
Okay.
get? What did
Do
you
you
get?
want to have him at Miskatonic with me, or do you think he'd be researching by himself?
I'd say he's with you.
Okay, that makes things easier. So we're
Yeah.
researching together. We're being study buddies.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do you want me to roll for first, him or me?
Both of you. I'll take both numbers. And
Okay,
you're
so-
researching the same topic, which is the Sound and Light Club.
He's researching the Sound and Light Club. I'm very specifically trying to deep dive into that book and use the
Okay.
materials at Miskatonic to see if
You're
it'll
using the book.
explain it more.
Okay.
So,
Yep. The
for
plus
my
5
occult-
Miskatonic bonus still applies. So you will
Okay.
get that. So your occult is.
So, okay, fun fact, I rolled twice and I got a 16 both times. And so my occult is 16 plus 6, which is 22
22.
plus 5, 27. And then I think he has like 1 point more than me. So that same thing for him.
28. Okay. Yep. So for him, he's going to find the following as he looks into the Sound and Light Club. He does find that most of the Sound and Light Club members have passed, and that some of the money that was used actually in their inheritances was given back to the club and then actually redistributed. And you can't find exactly where it was redistributed to. But that does leave you some information on the actual club itself. In addition, you pick up a few more mentions of Frank Long and a few more news articles, but there's no quotes this time. It's just mention of like charitable deeds and then other actions the Sound and Light Club had been taking together as a group within the period of 1930s and all the way up to the 1953 when the group shut down. In addition, when you research the book, it appears that it is 100% like a Bible of some sorts. It seems to be pointing towards the idea of bringing the thought of paradise into this place. That paradise can be summoned and attained through diligent work and use of two very important things to the club: sound and light.
Paradise can be summoned or something else.
It seems paradise can be summoned.
Am I finding any notes on how to do that summoning?
You don't seem to be.
And I don't get a sanity thing?
Nope.
Oh,
Not on
but
that
I
one.
got the crazy book.
Yeah, if you actually would research it for a week, then you get the crazy thing, but you don't have a week now, do you?
No.
Uh-huh.
See, this is why you split up the party, because if you stay with someone else in the party, the crazy thing doesn't happen to you.
Mm.
I was
So-
so excited and ready.
It's the next day. I'm
Also,
going to skip the day.
how much
'cause you don't
longer?
care.
How much longer
Yeah.
do we have? Because I am very tired.
We are at the last scene.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we are actually at the very last scene. That's why I said we're skipping the day. We're going to the gala. Hey, it's the final night. So everyone seems to be there. The place is packed. It seems to be the elite of the city have all come to actually see the theater open. There are limos outside. This is a scene. This is actually quite surprising. You did not expect it to be this crazy. Outside is Sarah. She's dressed up in a very sparkly gown. It seems the work has been completed in a time that you all have been away. The rest of the scaffolding was taken down. The seats are ready and people are flowing in. The place is packed. You can see Metro Arts volunteers are actually dressed up and ready to go. They're all over the place, guiding people to seats, taking tickets and things like that. And Sarah is, of course, in the middle, and it seems she's talking to a very well-dressed gentleman. There is also a billboard, a bunch of, looks like photos. They found additional photos and additional information from the archives of the Paradise Theater, and they are posted outside of the doors in the entrance going into the theater.
I'm gonna definitely check out the pictures before we go in.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So when you walk up there, you're able to see a lot of things. One is a photo of a 1952 fundraising event that was actually in the lobby where you're standing right now. It has a large gaudy banner dedicating the event to the St. Matthew's Orphanage from the Sound and Light Club. Two men stand in the foreground of the camera, and you don't really know who they are. And there is a recognizable figure in the background. You've seen him in many photos, Frank Long.
Mm-hmm.
In addition, scattered amongst the other photographs are actually many generations of the Allen family themselves, including the three patriarchs, Max Allen, Frederick Allen, and George Allen, each of them taken decades apart and actually placed like individually in the middle of the photos to sort of show the lineage of the Allen family. It also seems that there is a very interesting way that they've taken all of these photos. Each of those portraits is done in the same way. One man on the upper balcony of the Paradise looking down at the photographer who uses a wide angle lens to capture the beauty of the room and the ceiling.
It's okay, that just ended abruptly.
Yeah, just on
Yeah.
the ceiling. Just as you're standing there, by the way, I just like want to make sure everyone sort of absorbed that. Just as you're standing there, you hear a say cheese. Make a spot check.
Okay.
Everyone can make the spot check. By the way, this is not a closed roll.
17.
All right. It looks like
I have a 17 as well.
17. No. 2. Okay, so you don't see this. No. Evander? 10. Okay. Looking up, for Junior and Theo, and not for Evander and Nona. you're able to hear the say cheese, and you're able to hear a flash, hear a click of a camera, and there's a sudden flash. You notice that at the bottom of the paradise, right now, there happens to be a photographer, and he's looking up towards the man who was just talking to Sarah. He's standing up in the very same place as all of the Allen patriarchs to getting his photo taken in the exact same manner.
I would like to like scrutinize the pictures and see if it looks like it's the same person.
It is not. You can
Okay.
tell that for sure.
Okay.
However, there is definitely a resemblance, I'd say. It looks similar, but not the same. Not these nerds, thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid of 8. Hope you all enjoyed this so far. You're here for just the very end.
Yeah, Nona walks up to you, Theo, and is like looking at you, looking at the pictures. Kind of cute. Why are you looking at them?
Ah, I thought I'd hook you up.
Those guys probably are dead.
I know. And I just kind of walk away.
Anything else you would like to do? It seems like you see the lights flash a couple times, and it looks like they're trying to shoo people into the theater because the movies are about to play.
Evander, let's get this all on film. Lights, cameras, action.
Bob, let's go.
All right. So you go into the theater and sit down, and you get into your seats. You have seats right in the front because you're honored guests, of course, and they want to make sure that you had the front page spot. And the man that you saw before walks up onto the stage, and everyone applauds, and he holds up his hands. He goes, "Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you. I think a lot of you know me here, but I'm happy to introduce myself. Richard Jacobs, head of the Allen Foundation, and of course, the main benefactor here of the Paradise Theater." And, everyone, yeah, he's like, "I'm happy to give the organization's money to such a wonderful opportunity. Sarah Landry, everyone. Sarah, can you please stand up? This place looks amazing. I'm telling you what, it's just going to burn the house down. Tonight's movies. You can't miss it. It's the classics. We got Casablanca tonight and Rules of the Game. So please, I don't want to hold you up any longer. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this. Stay tuned to the debut of the Paradise Theater." And of course, he smiles and takes his hand and, very happy with himself, and steps off stage and takes a seat in the audience. The lights come down, and just as the film begins to play, you can hear it click up. You hear click, 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 like it speeds up and begins to shutter and throw it onto the screen. And it's the first movie, the French satire Rules of the Game, that begins to come up. And just as the credits are beginning to play, all of a sudden the film begins to just get a little off, and you can see the edge begin to bleed over, and then it actually shutters back. And then in the very background, you can hear "Oh, Fortuna," the beginning of the movie playing for the first time. A song you've never heard before, but yet is playing right now as part of this movie.
We're not really gonna sit here and watch this whole thing, right?
I don't know what we're supposed to do. Do we
And then,
really? I would like to.
All of a sudden, the film tears and the music stops, and there's just white on the screen, and then everything goes quiet. And there's whispering and murmuring for a little bit, and you see Sarah step up, she starts to go around, moves, runs to the back, and seems to run up to the projector room. And then you sit there for a moment. Roll me a search check, all of you.
Yeah.
One.
I love my dice today. 16.
Good
9.
guys. 9.
10.
Junior is our savior.
Junior, as you're sitting there, you all of a sudden sniff a little bit and you smell. Smells like something's burning.
Did anybody make any toast? Because darn, that's a smell. What?
Are you
And I
having a stroke?
investigate the scent. You know,
Beep.
does
Junior,
there's some
Beep
are
beep
you having a stroke?
beep 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 beep.
Oh, hell no.
Beep,
I'm
beep.
like, no, I'm
Beep, beep.
standing up and I'm like walking towards the door.
Beep. The doors slam in your face, locking you in. No one seems to be standing at them. You turn around, and just as you see that, you can see one thin black straight line right across the screen, and you can hear it in your head. Beep. And
I'm gonna
just
start to
as
try and kick the door in. That's
doesn't budge. All of a sudden, you see from underneath the door comes this black ink seeping in across the carpeting, dripping and staining it, starting to get under your shoes.
Are there like
Junior, you look up and you smell the smoke is getting more pungent, and then the line on the screen begins to flicker and move, and then all of a sudden it comes outwards like 3D, and it begins to spin towards you, just you.
by you? Do you mean Junior?
Junior.
Oh gosh. What is the skill for screaming really loud and saying fire?
The skill for screaming really loud and saying fire is just that.
You just
Oh, like
shout.
like
It's
fire. Fire.
Fire.
Does anybody see that? Fire.
And just as you scream fire, all of a sudden the tentacle smashes through and attacks you. What's your armor class?
First time I've been asked that today.
Yeah.
My armor class is a 12.
Oh, good. Can you take a 35?
A 35 damage.
To
I
hit.
mean,
To hit.
how about? I mean, I got 7 hit points. Does that mean I like die? That would be
No.
horrible.
No, you're just being hit.
Oh,
35
okay.
versus 12 will I hit you. So this tentacle hits you, whatever this is, coming out of the screen.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's gonna deal some damage here. Let me just roll here. Yeah, it deals 39 damage.
You did.
That's horrible. The first cast member to die.
Just as you're standing there and you scream, fire! The tentacle whips through and gets you in the heart, and all of a sudden it comes out the back and bursts into film rolls. Film begins to fill the entire room, snaking out of your body and beginning to writhe and jut into the mouths of the other people around you, getting into their systems and their eyes filling with black.
Hey, now I'm the bad guy.
Tentacles begin looping around. The pile that was below you, Nona, reaches out and it lashes across your face and it grips you in film and pulls you into the floor. And as you fall into the floor, suddenly a trapdoor opens in the top of the ceiling and you come spinning down because you fell up, not down, and you fall from the ceiling directly into the chairs just as people scream around you.
It's better
Evander,
to burn than to fade away.
You can hear Jim Bob all of a sudden go, boss.
Yeah. This is the Jim Bob, you good? Getting this?
You look around and he's sitting there like pointing his finger, and all of a sudden the cord he's been carrying, it's looping upwards and moving, and you can see it split open into film, and it all of a sudden dives into both of his ears and goes both sides, splitting through, blood bursting out each side.
As all of this is happening, I am furiously flipping through the book, trying to find something in the book about this.
Just as you are flipping through the book madly, you look to the front of the stage as all the film is dancing around and the tentacles are lashing, and you can see flames rising in the white, pairing with the white, all of a sudden like coming out from the screen and beginning to burn down the sides. Flame is now filling the theater, coming out of the screen itself as it begins to show a desolate landscape that looks very much like the opera, Carmina Burana. And standing there in front of it is the man who just introduced himself, Richard Jacobs. And he looks at you and he says, "Oh, Thea, you're behind. You missed it by 2 minutes." Everything has a time and a place, my friend. You've missed yours. If you're looking for a way to stop this, it's too late.
What if I'm looking for a way to join it?
Then come, find
Oh.
paradise with me.
I go right for him.
And just as you reach out to grab his hand, the scene seems to go white. And the next morning you hear that the Paradise Theater has burned down and killed 367 people, including the cast of Death Watch, famed philanthropist Richard Jacobs, and Theo Darkstar were never found in the wreckage. And that is the Paradise Theater. Guess what the answer is? It is, in fact, Junior yelling fire in a burning theater before the movie starts.
Wait,
That is the solution to the Paradise Theater.
Are you serious?
Yes, because the ritual is timed.
You were so
It
close.
has a very specific star date. It has a very specific place. They moved the foundation. They moved everything for this moment. And if you ruin the moment is lost forever. And the paradise stays safe. And nothing ever happens in this mod. You don't need any of what I just told you to solve it. You just have to yell fire in a burning theater, which I told you to do at the very beginning of this mod. I told you it burns down at the end.
Well, ironically, I used to work in a supermarket, and I've had that situation where there was fire coming out of a vent, and I was just a humble janitor, and and here I am, 16 years old, and I screamed, "Okay, everybody be calm, but there's fire. Please move out with your," and so I just knew naturally to scream fire because I had been in that situation before.
Yeah, and you were just a little short. Had it been before rules of the game started showing, you would have actually been able to do it. And if you were able to preempt the fire before the fire happens, that's actually the goal, is for you to eventually see that all of this is leading up to this one moment. And some people get it. They're actually able to say, hey, something about this in the paradise is required. And it actually is Richard Jacobs. He needs to be in the building. The building must be filled, and it must be this night, and it must be that movie. And those are all things you can find throughout the adventure path. You never got to meet Frank. Frank is still alive, and you could have interviewed him and found Richard, and actually interviewed Richard as well. I found him earlier. Another thing that you did miss out on was the scaffolding. If you would have gone on it and would have gone up, you would have found the trapdoor that Mary fell through and actually fallen through time and space upwards and then appeared at the bottom, taking the same injury she would have. So you did miss a injury scene, actually, a very significant one that can take a player out, actually, completely, depending on how much damage is issued in that moment. Yeah, it's a brutal one. The fall down, not fall up, is literally, some people find it and they think the trapdoor is the secret, and then they get there and like 2 or 3 of them slip into the trapdoor and injure themselves. That happens a lot, and that usually causes failures. But the biggest failure is just that everyone psychs themselves out. They think of there needs to be a magical solution to this, and there's not. It's just it's a very commonplace solution, actually, that's intended. Another variety of solution that players did give to me, and I did consider a success, they cracked the Paradise's foundation, actually. They wandered downstairs in the middle of the night before the gala. They hit it with a sledgehammer, caused major issues because they found the blueprints to the core foundation. And because of that, Sarah Landry had to call off the event, which pissed off Richard. But he couldn't say why. And if you attempt to, and for the parties that did find Richard, they attempted to kill him. And that's the exact wrong answer. If you do that, you get arrested by the police because you're murderers. Which everyone forgets. Yeah, and that's the one most people come up with because they see this game as a heroic fantasy, because Dungeons and Dragons is traditionally a heroic fantasy. but Call of Cthulhu is not. And doing the heroic fantasy things is actually the worst thing you can do in this mod routinely. It leads you into nothing but whammies and false information, or information that's helpful, but ultimately you don't really need to know. You just need to get everyone out of the theater.
I had a secret motive the instant that my character found any indication that demonology and all that is real. She wanted in. And so anything that she could have done after finding that book to further it, she was 100% going to do.
Yeah, yeah. And canonically, Yog-Sothoth does come out. That is Yog-Sothoth coming out of the screen, possessing the film reels. He is the god of time and space, and also the god of sound and light, of course, because of perception and reality.
Sound and Light Club.
Sound and Light Club, yeah. And it's really funny because I'm your GM, and who do I normally play? The Night Mother, who is betrothed to Yog-Sothoth, which was amusing because when I ran my Night Mother character in my wife's game, my first boss was a Yog-Sothoth boss, and I was like, this is awkward. So I'm sitting there like everyone else is like, that's nasty. And I'm going, it's beautiful. Look at it, cherish it. And it's like this writhing tentacle beast. So what do you think? What were your takeaways, Junior, or Dave, I should say at this point? We're out of character, obviously.
Yeah.
Dave, what was your takeaway?
Well, from a therapeutic point of view, there were two things I noted. Despite us being the heroes, and we can't, as individuals, we couldn't really get in the roles, but I was glad that Nick did his psychoanalysis and
Yeah.
calmed down Nona.
Yeah.
Even though we tried to be honorable with Sarah, and do the honorable thing with the characters. I like that angle we pursued, and I was hoping we were going to not prevent that fire from happening, but we did the honorable thing to each other as characters, and I'm glad that we gelled the best that we could. The other thing I briefly wanted to notice is to note was when I said, and I was attempting to pull the medical files, and you were like, oh no, that can't happen. There are laws against that.
Yeah.
And as future therapists or current therapists, we note the HIPAA laws.
Yeah.
And so that's just an interesting boundary not to cross. And I like that you put down the hammer on that one.
Well, it's funny. There actually is a way to get the file in the game, and it actually is written into the book. It's because all charts hang on the bed. There was a chart hanging on the bed. You could have looked at it. He was from the Paradise Theater. That was the janitor you watched die, and he did have a heart attack. If you would have looked into it, Sarah would have forgotten his name and would not have recognized him, as a matter of fact, as an employee. It would have been very odd.
It's interesting because I forgot her name. One of the higher echelons of Geek Therapeutics is their approach to DMing is like, well, I'm not going to tell, you can't tell me you're going to roll such and such a number or such an ability. And it's almost like you have a different approach. Go ahead and roll that ability.
Yeah.
And but say I'm going to roll this ability. So I'm like, your style. And that's why I watched you with Maid, and I was trying to understand that style, and that's the only comments I have. I very much enjoyed this, and thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Yeah, I always want to point out, like, one of my favorite things to do is lean into the character. As I said, if I know that you have a skill that might be more applicable than the one you're telling me, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna be like, you should use that one over there because it's more interesting and it will give you a better bonus. But sometimes I also will sit there, and if you give me a rationale that says I'm gonna pick this lock by kicking a door in, I'm gonna be like, that's not lock picking, right? Like, I can't let you. But I always like it when a player makes a good case for it. If you can tell me why it makes sense, maybe I'll let you do it. And if you can give enough flair to it, I'll give you a bonus, because that makes everyone feel good. And it also adds more to the game experience. It's a more interesting event to twist a skill than it is to do it straight, in my opinion. But not everyone likes that. Not every GM likes that openness. It does leave a lot open, and not everyone can do improv that fast, for example. Yeah, let's just jump down to our AV friend, Evander, please.
Thank you for reading my mind, because after this, you gotta
go. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel what you said about that, this not being a heroic fantasy was very poignant. That's definitely sticking with me as somebody who doesn't have much experience with horror. I feel that is very powerful and poignant in the context of a lot of things, especially, as we potentially explore therapeutic use of, tabletops, because life isn't always that heroic fantasy. And don't get me wrong, sometimes we want to create the heroic fantasy for various reasons, but sometimes we want something a little bit closer to the nature of reality.
Yeah.
Well, not that this is necessarily reality, but
Right,
because
right.
every so often we all go to a theater and get murdered by 1,000
Year old
fucking time demons.
Time
But
demon.
no, but
The
what?
risk you take.
But like, I like that idea of, not everything is going to be a heroic fantasy. And even in the context of like just part of a heroic fantasy being a shift from that, I feel that this is challenging me to think a lot more than I have in an area and a direction that I haven't yet with this art.
Awesome. And that's what it was intended to do. Heck yeah. Now go get some
Wonderful.
sleep.
Will do.
Thank you
See
so
y'all
much, Ed.
later.
Nice meeting you.
Thank y'all very much.
Yes. Nona, and of course, Theo, Kayla, please hit me. Like, what was your takeaway?
Yeah, I think that what I really liked about Call of Cthulhu versus I'm realizing now that what I've played previously is Trail of Cthulhu. So I really liked the D20 system. It felt more balanced and such, but I also liked that it felt like a good system to really get comfortable with failure, and failure is not a bad thing. Just part of the storyline. So I really appreciated that. I also did like the moment of like getting the opportunity for the historian to try and help calm Nona down. Like that was a nice like
well played.
therapy moment.
That was well played. I was very interested to see how
I
you
felt
handle
like
that.
I was in therapy. I'm like, okay, this
I did
feels
too.
better. Everything is better. Everything is rainbows and sunshine again. So yeah, those are my two takeaways.
Nice. And then of course, please take us away.
Well,
Our resident demonologist.
I've been sitting here trying to think because I am a horror enthusiast, and like if I had my choice, I would do therapy in a horror setting. And like I kind of like the concept that you were kind of describing about like how like you're not meant to do the heroic, you're meant to survive. And I was trying to put it in perspective of like a therapeutic setting. First of all, I just wanted to say what I really loved was the example of how you can put in tags of medical death and fire and all this stuff, and it doesn't ruin the story at all.
No. Yeah.
Like it's safety measures. And like I've always kind of felt a little iffy about the tags because I worry that that's going to be a spoiler. But the thing is like it actually, even knowing that it was coming, it was still fun.
Yeah.
So I liked getting to see, and then the way you handled going into the medical scene, like, okay, now here's when this is going to start. And you actually gave us avenues to completely avoid it. We didn't even have to go see her. We could have gone another place. So like that would have been a great way to check in and be like, just a reminder, this is going to happen. You sure you don't want to go somewhere else? And so I like that. And what was getting me thinking about this was in a therapeutic setting, how a game like Call of Cthulhu can be really helpful is that fact that you don't have that heroic moment. So it's like a lot of times in these situations, you give that person the chance to shine. And it's like in the game Celeste, where you have this ability, like she has anxiety, and then you do this like mechanic, and she breathes and she handles it. But then there's this one part in the game, spoiler alert, where anxiety hits and she tries to do her mechanic, but it doesn't work because it can't always work in reality. If you have anxiety in reality, you can't always make the mechanic that calms you down work. And I like this. Failures don't have to be bad. Failures can be fun. Failures make the game more interesting. So a good way to get people to thinking about like, yeah, the world is scary and sometimes bad things happen, but it makes life more interesting than it did.
Yeah, and I think your run at the Paradise Theater really showed that, because at the beginning you did miss a lot of the whammies. You just weren't rolling right, and it was boring, wasn't it? It's kind
Yeah.
of just like it's kind of coasted until all of a sudden you started clicking failures, and then all of a sudden it started stacking, and then it got really interesting suddenly. We're known as hallucinating and things like that. So like, you know, it became more interesting as time went on, and that's what frequently happens with the system. The penalties stack, and over time it just becomes much harder to play. So for long-term campaigns, doesn't always work as well, but it can't work when you do it very slow. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for a lot of fun tonight. Thank you, as always, to Geek Therapeutics for allowing me to come and teach this stuff and talk about it and play, you know, Call of Cthulhu with some wonderful folks. I very much appreciate it.
You're amazing.
Thank you. And you're amazing too. You're all amazing, and the audience is amazing. Thank you for coming out and watching tonight. I don't know when the next Geek Therapeutics stream is going to be. I would love to announce it. Tomorrow, what time? All right, so it is. All right, it will be available tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time, right here, twitch.tv/Geek Therapeutics. Don't go anywhere. Well, you have to sleep, but then come back. And we'll see you all tomorrow.